All right, what is going on, guys? Today we have two of the top people in Florida no time. Number 1 and number 2, potentially.
Number 2.
If you follow Chris on Facebook, you probably think that he's number 1, even though he's been runner-up quite a few times.
8, 9 times.
He talks more smack on the Florida no time groups than anybody I've ever seen. But at least his car can back it up. And then Joey's been racing for I feel like I've known Joey for 10 years watching him race. I mean, shoot, I was watching your car wheelie at like early FL2Ks. You were showing me photos of it and you were like 14 years old. I was like, this freaking guy out here just putting his car on the bumper at 14.
Alfred telling him you're how old?
Yeah.
They try to kick you out.
Yeah, and
Hey, talk in the mic, brother.
yeah, they just
You can move it to you.
All right. Yeah, I think I was 15 or 16, and like I had a permit, and I was out of interest stuff, and then it just depends who's working at the track that'd give me a hard time or not, you know. But,
Yeah. And you guys both run the Florida no time, which is why the no time stuff? Because I'm always interested in why we pick what classes we end up in. Because you could be in street car easily.
Oh yeah.
He's missing a big opportunity not running like FL2K, a street car takeover.
100%.
Because his car's fast, whoever's watching. Joey's car's fast for what it is. And has power windows, back seat, full interior. And it meets every rule. And I'm telling him, you need to go out to FL2K, street car takeover, all these huge events. You're running no time, but that's just what he likes. Like
I just like
action,
the drama. Like I don't know. I'm from Miami, and like I love that kind of stuff. The mentality people bring, the chip draw. You know, like
that is fun.
Just I don't know, bringing the same energy you give on Facebook, bringing it in person. I love that.
Like
you know?
actual shit talking grudge racing, completely different than what I normally race. Like,
Yeah, the
I don't
action.
think I've ever actually been in like a grudge race.
Yeah.
Because we just don't do that.
Yeah, just like I grew up at like an outlaw track down in Miami, and that's how everyone was down there. And like Florida no time, the way they set up the events, and it just brings me back to that growing up and stuff. So I really like it.
Sorry, this AC is gonna be loud, I think.
I only no time race because I can't afford the class race.
Sorry, it's got like heat on or something.
Yeah, it does feel hot.
Yeah.
That's your hot breath, my boy.
Oh, I like this deal though.
As soon as there's real AC in here, it'd be great.
It was cold.
Yeah, but then the noise, unfortunately.
I had a mistake. We were sleeping at the track when I got that new trailer, and I was messing with the AC.
Yeah.
Went to sleep, woke up like 2 hours later sweating. I turned the heat on like 90. I didn't even realize it.
And better than sleeping with no AC, right?
Oh, those are good. Yeah. Dude, we were traveling doing. We're getting off subject.
No, you're good.
We were traveling doing that No Prep Kings thing a year or two ago. I just had a normal trailer.
Rough.
Everybody's got like toter homes and stuff.
Yeah.
Just pulling in, me and him alone, 2-man crew, raggedy.
It's kind of like sleeping in like a garage like this. You know, you're just
Yeah,
kinda
that's what it felt
with
like.
the car.
Yes,
Yeah,
would.
you smell the ATF.
Bro, it was terrible, and it's
I
not
had an air
insulated.
mattress. He did it. He would just sleep literally on the floor of my trailer
That's what we had.
with his sweater on.
How'd you guys do in the No Prep Kings when you were doing it?
I think we did amazing that I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Did all right.
I think I did really good. I had just started not tuning. I don't really know how to tune with air fuel time and all that stuff, make the motor happy. But
Yeah.
I started messing with the power, how to bring it in, all those stuff, and then we were doing good. And we went to semifinals a lot in the No Prep King stuff and running with some big hitters. I needed someone to my car had what it took to win, almost all of them, because it's perfect setup for that. I didn't have it. Me as a tuner, or me as a suspension person.
Do you think now you'd have a better chance at it? There's some heavy hitters on the No Prep.
No, now they've got dedicated builds.
Yeah, we had a good. If we had a little bit better team, we had a really good shot at winning a lot at that time.
But
People
now
weren't as fast as they were now, you know.
Yeah.
And now I have a radial. I moved weight forward. I have an iron block, which I hate, but now my turbo's up front. I used to have the twins by the firewall. So now it used to sit 50-50 with no ballast in it, so it was perfect. But
Well, we never really just never turned the car up enough. We never knew we never even found the real limit. It never knocked a tire off or whatever. And every semifinal came out the real fast 4 guys just came up short at the end every single
we
time.
ran some high, whatever. It's not. We ran high 70s. on no prep, like 470. It was.
I mean, that's pretty stout on a no prep surface, and they're
but those
semi
tracks-
prep.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Those
Yeah,
tracks
yeah.
aren't,
Yeah.
like you go to Showtime no prep or Orlando.
It's not the same. Like
Once nighttime comes-
Swanstrom would run or whatever, and like you could walk and you would almost pull your shoe off. But like in the middle of the track, it's bald.
It's 330 feet, 300 feet out when them big tire cars started. Because, all the fast people are going down there laying rubber down.
Yeah.
You're good. But after the 330, you had to get it in then and go down the back with like momentum. Because,
So you're
Back.
pulling power out as you get farther down.
well, we just didn't have enough power. So we were just.
Oh yeah, you don't really have the,
But,
especially on your old combo. You didn't have the power to
Nothing.
pull out of it. You were already.
We were just out. But, I don't know. That was a really fun time.
They're starting back up soon. I mean, are you going to try to hit any, or are you just done with that deal?
Yeah, I can't.
Because the no prep, no time is so different than the no time prep. What we have
Oh,
in
yeah.
Florida, like in North Carolina, it's all like no time, no prep, and down here, I feel like we don't get any of that.
Yeah.
You guys were just at Showtime, which is probably the closest to no prep, but they're still spraying.
Yeah, I mean the track was pretty decent. You know, I had problems or whatever, but I probably would have left not a Bradenton tune-up, but like heat of the day, something.
People get spoiled on Bradenton.
Oh, yeah.
Wade is the man, bro.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, when I do my burnout at Bradenton, and then I start backing up. And
You have
I'm
to
like,
gas it.
and you're gassing in reverse to back up because the car's stuck. And then, like, it won't idle. So, like, you're pulling up to get on the top bulb. You're 2-footing it because your car don't want to roll. It's just stuck.
Yeah.
My car can't do a burnout once it like leaves the water a little bit. Like it starts to hook up. Like I'm like
Yeah.
wide open, and then all of a sudden it's like, bah, and it like hooks up. I'm like, oh, it's done.
I'm 90% sure I could hook without a burnout at Bradenton.
I think I've done it before. People always get on me. They're like, you didn't even spin the tires. I'm like, I just cleaned them off.
Yeah, you don't need nothing
when
serious at Bradenton.
When a No Prep Kings thing went there, everybody's like, you can't take it out of the Bradenton.
Yeah.
Too
Like,
good.
that track your shoes were coming off.
Yeah,
Which is-
I never have to tie them like a no prep. You know, I just have my shoes loose or whatever, and it would come off. Bradenton.
But I've been to tracks where they prep and they're like, this shit is good. And then you walk out there and you're like,
Yeah.
I mean, it happens sometimes in Gainesville, not to the times I've been there where they're like, we're throwing down. And then you walk out there and you're like,
Oh yeah, y'all are
Ugh.
throwing down. We went to the 352 shootout, and it was rough over there, man.
I know I was there. I didn't get
Yeah,
down on the first
yeah, you
hit.
were there.
And then once
we
you
went
lined me
down.
up, I got down.
Yeah.
And then the dew came in and we kind of all got,
Oh my!
You just got like it's like a fine line. Like you either want to put it in the rubber or the glue, and like I just feel like they were just like spraying it on top or something. Like Wade does something like Gainesville FL2K. The track came around decently fast.
We have like a different approach when when we go to places like that. Me and Joey would go to Orlando and run we'd go out of the groove on purpose, like for A to B tune-ups, like build it.
yeah.
Yeah, you see so many people that go and all they worry about is that kill hit, like getting it the best, but they never work on like when the track ain't there. Like I just won the reunion, right? How many car? I wasn't a top hitter. I'm gonna move this one. Oh, sorry. You're good. I wasn't a top hitter there.
Yeah, I mean, there was cars that probably should have
Way-
beaten you on paper.
way, yeah.
I mean,
But-
Killa B was there, and that thing gets down pretty
Turbo
good.
B?
Turbo B
Yeah.
gets down pretty well. I know you said that thing's slow, but
No, I didn't. I didn't. I messed up him enough on Facebook for that burn down, but well, you can't. That's
them guys are my
Burners.
boys, man. I roll up there and they're feeding me and stuff.
Oh no, they're the best, but I'm their
And by the way,
kryptonite.
let me start this. You can't. You burn yourself down. I know that. You know, people say that was my own fault that I sat on a chip that long. But Brian, Chris, they're all great people.
Oh yeah, they're cool, but I'm their kryptonite. If I'm involved, they never win.
Joey's beat Turbo B tons of times.
Yeah,
but-
2 different cars. I drove for Mike Reich, Meemaw, and like the night before it was at Snowbirds, and the oil filter or something came loose in the burnout, so I didn't even get a pass. So then Saturday went to eliminations, or Sunday, and I drew them first round. Oh, I killed them.
Damn.
I didn't even make it to 330. I broke the car. Still got coasted and won. And then I beat him one time on my
He's just
car.
their kryptonite. It's never
Yeah.
like a full on. That car is super fast.
Oh yeah.
And it's been consistent for like 6
Years.
years
Shootout.
of racing, it
Yeah,
feels
he's a
like.
shootout king.
Oh yeah, that's
Back-
the man.
Like,
for sure.
It was fast 6 years ago. Now everybody's kind of catching up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Well, they're,
it took a while to get there.
They are
Yeah.
heavy
Yeah.
compared to how everybody is.
I know they've been
body life,
making
man.
a lot of changes to try to get back up top tier, and it takes time to get back to in that groove. And I'm sure once they get it, I mean, it'll be another heavy hitter. I mean,
but I'll never have a 4.5 minute stage and duel again. You know, I almost ran out of fuel. When I ran him, my car like leaned out on the top end, and then I get at the end, I get back to a trailer, I open it up, I had maybe like quarter, half inch of fuel. It was pulling air in. If we would have sat there idling any longer, I would have.
So I saw it a little bit, but you guys had, 2 bulbs lit for so long, and
So
then you
long.
also burned each other down.
So
You guys
this is
sat
how-
there with
I'm
2 bulbs
hard-headed,
lit.
and so is Chris, Brett's the driver or whatever. So when that whole thing happened, I was like, oh, I'm not going in. So I just sat there in my car and I was just watching it. And like a lot of people, like Joey, if you catch, Joey never slips, but if I went in a stage and duel with Joey, his car takes forever to spool. So if we're just sitting there idling forever and forever, and I go in on that second ball real quick, if he don't catch it quick enough, he'll time out before he gets on the chip.
Yeah.
Right? But I know their car spools fast, and mine does too when I was next to Turbo B. So I was just sitting there, and I wasn't worried about him slipping on the second ball. It's when the track official came up waving me in, and I had like this mindset. I was going to win the reunion that day. I was like, the track, it's hot out, it's greasy. I was like, I'm going to win this. And then when they came up flagging me in, I was like, what if they red light us for doing this forever? So I was like, I'm just going to go in. I should have just double balled him because my car it's like 1.9 seconds. I build 10 pounds on ready to go. But I didn't. So I got on it and he aired me out for like, it's not that long, obviously, but it feels like forever when you're just.
Oh, yeah. It feels
out.
like an hour in there.
Yeah. And my car is never, when I was coming off the track, it was smoking the tranny, the overflow and everything. And I was like, oh, dang, like I've never done that.
It's nice that you only run 1/8 mile, because when you do that and then you run quarter,
I can't imagine.
then that second half, you're just like, oh, God damn it. Like like things are just getting worse and worse. Like you just doubled it basically.
I ended up hurting a tranny. It was flaring real bad in the finals, but that guy I ran, he spun. Like I still went down, but it was flaring bad. And then I figured turn down because we ran at Showtime. What's that, Friday?
Wednesday.
2 days
Wednesday
ago.
night.
Yep.
I was like, dang, I'm not gonna be anywhere turned up like that, so I'll be okay. But it started acting up there too. It's just slipping like low gear, but when it goes in
Yeah.
high, it's fine. So I'm about to pull it out and go turbo 400.
That's how that small block nitrous car got you.
Nah, Troy just
Turbo 400 is the way to go, unfortunately.
Troy just that's a pro. That's a man
oh,
right there.
he got you.
He owns
There you go.
He
Showtime.
blistered you. Oh yeah.
That man runs Showtime for sure. So
I never seen nothing like it.
I can't believe that freaking OEM looking Fox body beat a Pro Mod.
I'm about to leave. Man,
Dude, but it's not even like comparable, because a Fox body could look so stock but be so light.
I know, like Glenn,
Oh, like Glenn's.
Burke.
Yeah.
It's so
Yes.
good, but you're like, oh, it just sits like a normal Fox body. What's that orange one? Dusty Roads.
Oh,
that's
Curtis.
nasty. That's a
Thing
nasty
just sits
car.
like a normal Fox body.
Bro,
Yeah.
that thing's
Like it
nasty.
doesn't sit like all low, like, oh, it's got tubs and stuff, and then it's going like in the teens
Oh.
Oh.
easily. I'm
Oh.
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know what it's been, but
I'll tell you
that thing
this.
is fast.
Chris
I mean,
is-
look at Brett LaSalle.
Yeah, that's all I was
That's-
gonna say.
that
I was
is the
like,
man
so
right
just
there.
imagine
Quarter
like,
mile trim.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Or driving it. It's sick week. Driving it. But I mean,
Yeah.
he's going 20s, right? He's
yeah.
going 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? A
If they
dedicated
eighth mile-
Yeah, like
not streetable, like not driving it.
I'm sure it's lighter too, but like
Florida.
not Chris' car runs great like for what it is, like, and we did it like fast, but like Curtis is probably the fastest small block boost car in Florida right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dusty
I was
Roads.
trying like you know I'm on Facebook. I just like the chest beat and get people riled up.
Yeah.
I always say like that I have the fast. I was gonna say that I had like the fastest small block turbo deal around here besides Carlton Thompson, or not small LS. I always say
Yeah.
like I'm the LS Poppy of Florida.
Yeah.
But Carlton Thompson up in the Panhandle, he's a man. But he's building a new car right now, so I can flex for like a couple months. But Curtis is just that's
That's
a bad man.
The Coyotes just work so well.
Oh,
it's hard
yeah.
to,
I
hard
mean-
to run with that
Four
aluminum
point.
block.
I should go to Coyote.
I've done a couple Coyote cars in my 4.6. I mean, only takes 281 cubic inches. You know.
I only got 186 cubic inch.
Damn, that's how big those are.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's 3 liter, man.
He's got nitrous though.
Yeah, cheatered
Do
up.
you spray the whole time or just in
It's like 1.4 seconds out. We stopped spraying.
So when you get on the brake, it sprays it.
Wide open throttle. and then we can turn it off from there.
Oh, you need to turn it on the whole way.
We can, but Alpha hasn't really thrown it at it too much. It actually cools down the IETs the more we spray.
You should
So it
spray
is
and get
pretty
some flame out the side.
Let's talk about a scientist. Alpha's so smart.
That
guy's
man.
like-
Alpha told me one time, he said, I need to quit racing and become a comedian. I was like, is that because I suck or I'm that funny?
You never know with him. It's always a mystery. He could be telling you his honest truth, or he could be being sarcastic,
It's
and
the
they
same
sound
face.
almost the same.
Oh, yeah, same face the whole time. I'm like,
And I take notes the same way. I'm like, shit, was that honest, or was he messing with me? And then I'm like, he's messing with me so good that I can't even tell if he's being honest. And you have Nate helping on your car too, right?
Yeah.
It's my boy, the doctor.
Bro, I love Nate and Bogetti. So I met Nate in the truck world. Like before I had my car or built it, I had a full size truck that I like street raced, and I went to like East Coast truck shootout. It was like a big deal. I went to the finals in the DOT class, and I lost to a S10 Blazer with a dealer plate. Like it was a full size class with a mini truck in it on a dealer plate. But I don't know. Like I could have boycotted him or whatever,
Yeah.
the thing, but I didn't want to be like that person that complained back then and have a voice. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
but
I
what was
lost.
yours? A 2-door short bed?
Yeah, step side.
I mean, it's not that much bigger.
It's a full size truck. That's a 6-lug Thug. That thing is a half ton.
Full size
I
truck.
pulled my car with it before. But,
Nate was building a truck for a while, but
He had a white one.
I'm glad he got away from that.
so that's how I met. That was a fast truck. But that's how I met Nate. He tuned my step side,
Yeah.
and way back in the day, and I think he worked on a railroad on railroads.
Yeah, he worked at the airport.
No, is that what it was?
Yeah, he worked on the monorail at
Oh,
the
at
airport.
Best.
Yeah, like 1,000,000 miles on those things.
And then he was tuning on the side, and then now he's
he took off.
he's doing real good.
Yeah, he became full-time tuner. It was cool because I was there when he first started coming. Like, I was there the first day he came to Garrett's shop because he was tuning one of James's vehicles. And he was, like, hardly tuning a little bit, doing some HP tuner stuff and a little bit of Holly stuff. And then I watched, like, a year or two transition into, like, a full-time tuner, which is such a cool transition from, just having, like, a side job. And that's a really cool transition.
When Nate tuned my truck originally, it worked great on the street. And so like a year or two goes by, and I was bored, so I brought it to Bradenton for something. I forget what I was doing with it. And Nate was there, and he's like, hey, let me just look over the tune. I've learned a lot in like 2 years. I don't know what he added, but I went like 0.2 faster. And then on the street, it never hooked again. And I don't know, like the truck... And then I texted him. I was like, "Can you send me my old tune back? Like it's just making
Too much power now.
too much. I don't have a progressive or nothing on it."
Oh, Nate does good. He tuned. He just got done tuning my Camaro not that long ago, and
Oh yeah, his street car is
my daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a new one elite, and that thing like raced other Camaros with the same mods, like mod for mod, tuned just a different tuner, and I put like a car length and a half on. Like he does great, and my gas mileage is phenomenal. I don't know what he did. I
They ain't
get
got that
20,
EPA tune-up in
dude,
there.
23 miles per gallon. I'm like, bro, what did you do to this thing?
Yeah. Dude, so about your car, I know it's got a lot of freaking cool history on it.
Oh yeah,
That's I guess you could explain it, but it started as a bracket car, right?
yeah, and
Still is.
it is a bracket car. It didn't go down, but and my dad owned it in like 89 or 90. He bought it. He sold it in 93 to his friend, and
So it's a 68
yep,
Camaro, 68 Camaro.
2x3 chassis, Dana 60 rear end.
Yeah.
Like, it's a Troy Perez Senior called it best. It's a sheep in wolf's clothing. That's what it is, like backwards. Like it looks, I know everybody calls it a pro mod, and it is a chassis car. But,
I mean, it sits like a pro mod.
yeah, but it's really a beater chassis, and I think
Yeah.
I've reached its limits. Like now, because now I'm actually making power. It's driving horrible down the track. I think we're gonna need to add some bars, or I don't know if I need like a better anti-roll bar because it's twisting a lot.
Stiffen it up a little bit.
Yeah, because it can be. My car doesn't separate a lot, which is what I like. A lot of people do that whole face down, ass up, flying down a
Yep.
track, but then they never go down when it's shitty. My car will go. I'll take the limiters off the front, blast down in the heat, and then at nighttime put the limiters on and turn it up and go right down. But I don't know. It's going down track, and it only separates like an inch in the rear, but it'll be hanging the left front like past the 330, and it's just I don't know. I think it's reaching its limit. It needs like a better chassis.
Yeah, and if you want to keep adding power, you're just going to find worse and worse limit.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people do that. Like, you get to the point where the car just gets totally upset and they wreck it. And I don't want to. That's another thing, like with the no prep kings. And there's a lot of times where past the 330 crossed up, and I'm like, dang, I can't replace this car.
You got to be prepared to wad your car up. I think Lyle was talking about that, where it's
that,
like
you want to talk about
he'll
that,
drive
man.
into somebody to
Dude,
win.
We've sat at the line and read both sides of beer money. Dude,
Yeah.
he don't get out of it, and
That's a no prep king.
that's a no prep.
That's a bad man.
Even like
Yeah.
Turbo John, like he's prepared to freaking wad that
Oh, yeah,
car
totally.
up if
That's
he's
a
got
bad man,
to, and
too.
Oh,
he
yeah.
gets down the track really well. His old car used to be super impressive. I think his new one he hasn't quite figured out yet. But your car was your dad's car. You bracket raced it down in South Florida, right?
Yep, and I grew up at Moroso, West Palm Beach. What did it end up being? Palm Beach. And,
PBIR.
Yeah.
and then it closed down.
Yep. It's just
Which
sitting
is
there.
really cool. Like the last, I always went to that track with my dad, and then when I bought it back, when I found out I bought it back, the people I was buying it from were running their other car there, so I met them there and picked it up, and then I ran No Prep Kings Palm Beach. That was the first one I did, was there, and they closed down like right after that. So at least I got to go back to the track I grew up at with the car.
Yeah.
Which was a cool little history. I went to the semis then,
Yeah.
but there's some small car count. You can't really brag about all that. But
What would he say about not bracket racing it anymore?
I don't know what my.
Do you think he'd be like, all that no time stuff is stupid? There ain't no money in it. Like bracket racing, you can make
No.
50 grand a race.
So I don't really know. Like my dad's history before me, because my dad was older for me. Like my brother's, I'm 36. My brother's like 48. So like I was like a late kid, whatever. But my dad was growing up. He did a tons of heads up racing and everything. He didn't just do
Oh,
bracket
did he?
racing. Yeah, like I have some cool photos up in Ohio. He used to travel like Ohio, Philadelphia, all those places, and he had like a Chevelle, and won a ton with that. And then I don't know, he was away for a while, and then he got into that car. That was more. I don't think he just bracket raced it,
Okay.
but
Because the bracket race is kind of like its own
was
world
like a
of
super
drag
gas,
racing,
super-
too.
Yeah.
Like, we are in almost completely different lanes than bracket racers,
so different.
which is crazy.
Dude, I was mind blown at them. I was at a race, World Street Nationals, and I woke up at like 7 a.m. and there's like 40 cars doing laps in the pits, nonstop laps. And I was like, what are all them doing? They're like, oh, it's cold out. They all have to get up to a certain temperature, so like everything's perfect. I was like, man, there's a lot of science. I just never been in a bracket race to pay attention to it. They have a lot of science into it.
Yeah.
Like them dudes their car has to be a certain degree, like compared to the degree outside. I don't know.
I wish I I don't want to bracket race now, but I wish I bracket raced when I was a kid. And like my parents got me into that because it teaches you so much better structure on racing.
It seems like the
and
best people started in bracket.
Running the car, cutting a good light
Yeah, look
constantly.
at Troy. That's how Troy started. He would bracket raced, and then he did like some racing with his dad's Nova. I went stay at Troy's house sometimes, like work with him. Open his garage, bro. He's won like every race you could freaking think of. His magazines and shit. Like it's just crazy. Like Glenn does good too because he's good on the tree, and
I
he
was
started
gonna
bracket
say.
racing.
That was the same thing I was thinking.
Glenn is so consistent.
I
Same with
didn't-
James. He's done a lot of bracket racing, and like it kind of just forces that into your brain.
I didn't start bracket racing, but I'll still rip Glenn's lip up on the tree.
I hope he watches this.
I'm sure he would.
But my dad would love the no time thing. He was a loud mouth. He wasn't from Miami, but that's where I'm from there too. Like, but just loud
South
mouth,
Florida, talking
talking shit.
shit to people constantly. Yeah, it adds up.
energy. Like when I moved from Miami to Ocala, which is country,
Just quiet.
so country,
Terrible.
it was just a game. And I went to Bellevue High, which is it had the ag they had cows there and everything, so it's real country. And then here it's just this loud mouth. And I guess we talk with a different accent. I don't know, something. But it was just a culture shock.
I always say South Florida is kind of a different state. There's kind of 3 different states of Florida, maybe 4. There's like South Florida, there's Central. You guys are kind of in North, and then there's the Panhandle that
Well,
who
Miami's
knows what's
like,
going on over there.
Miami's like Cuba.
Yeah,
Pretty much is how that is over there.
underwater Cuba.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
That's North Cuba.
North Cuba.
But if you don't know, that's what I tell people sometimes. I'm like, where are you from? North Cuba? And they're like, they have a north and a south? Miami. If you don't know Spanish down there now, you're screwed.
I started though. So I did like 3 650 bracket classes. Those were like my first little 3 races that I did before I ever.
All the way turned up too.
No, that's all it had. That's all it still has.
Just 650s.
Yeah, but like, I went to the semifinals twice. Both times I ran someone that had numbers on the side of their car. I knew I was done.
The big white.
When
numbers.
they got the little LED thing on the side, and he's got it like dialed in, I'm like, yes.
Oh, yeah, the LED.
Oh, he broke it off at me. Like we pulled up next to each other. We're at the end, and he pulled up. He started like hitting the brakes, gassing, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in him?
That's what pro.
I did that at FL2K once. I was in the 1050 class, and I pull up, and I was just like, damn it. Like, you could just tell, like, they're going to run their number perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in, like, stick shift V1 that was probably not going to run anything near. It was just the only class I could fit in.
Bro, those bracket guys, they take it serious. They race for like $1 million.
Yeah.
There's some serious money in there.
You can actually win real money, unlike us, who can win, like, $4,000. Maybe, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And for your hand, be like, what? You'll get the split like 8 times, and you win 1 time.
Oh, that's a great.
But there's a tax idea behind that, right?
Splitting.
I have the.
Tell
Me
them
and Joey, so, whatever. I've been in like 8 runner-ups. And I've only ran my car for like 2 years, so I think that's a good. I just suck at winning in the last round. But me and Joey were messing up everybody, and I was telling them, because people always want to split.
Yeah.
Especially, like, my car goes rounds every time. So, like, there's a lot of pressure there. So, we want to do, like, a 50-50 split, but it'd always be a split. And then they 1099 you. So, should I be talking about this?
No, I mean...
They 1099 you, right? So, like, this one dude, Nick, we split. And, like, a couple months go by, and he texts me. He's like, He's like, I have to pay 1099 on that. And I gave him almost half of it. I was like, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, so he's paying taxes on money that he didn't even make.
So then I told Joey, I was like, we made a dumb video on Facebook messing with everybody saying that I purposely lose in the finals, which I don't. But I purposely lose in the finals because I get money, I don't get 1099, and then I don't get kicked out of the invite.
Yeah, it says you won $1,500, but meanwhile you split and you got $3,000. And so you're writing less in tax.
But I don't know what happens in the finals. It's always something stupid I do. I don't know. Like...
The pressure hits you hard once you get to
No, I don't fold under pressure.
Gets tough.
What happens. I don't ever get in my head. Like, I do get in my head. Like, when I ran Troy Wednesday night. So, when I first brought my car out, I went to Showtime. And I made 1 hit off the trailer. And everybody's telling me, Showtime's bad. Don't bring your car there. Don Lamana's like, you're an idiot. He cussed me out. He's like, you're an idiot. That car is beautiful. And your dad's, you're going to Showtime.
Fastest guy I know.
And
Don Lamana.
Yeah, he needs to let me drive that Pro Model before he sells it. But he's yelling at me I shouldn't go there. So anyways, I make 1 hit. It was good. I make the 2nd hit. Whatever. I made a 3rd hit. And in the left lane right after the finish line, there's like this bump. If you look, they put a concrete around. It's like they cut the track.
Yeah.
Well, my car, it was my fault. But my car is super stiff in the rear. I never changed the spring from when it was heavy, when it was Outlaw 632 car.
Still hasn't.
And it's just stiff. So when I'm on the brakes and I hit that bump, and like I hit the brakes harder, and I locked them up. And then I did 2 360s at Showtime. I trapped like 149, I think, there. And I did 2 full, never hit nothing. I blew my front tires out, ripped the diaper off, flat spotted my 275s. And
well, you guys don't pull the parachutes really either. So you're not used to that.
No.
Like 8th mile guys just don't.
Well, that was obviously driver error, because I locked the brakes up, but I don't know. I was just in my head there. So I go there Wednesday night for Norm's shootout, the Cole brothers' dad's memorial thing. And first round, it went fast for there. But it shook the tire like 150 feet out. So I was like, oh, let's turn it down a little bit. So Nate turned it down a little bit right there. I come back up for 2nd round, and the track was trash. Like, I'm turned down now. I blew the tires off like 3 times because I was trying to make sure I beat him. So then the 3rd round come up, and I had Troy in reboot, and I don't know, I was just in my head, which is...
So you ended up being slow in the tree because of it?
Well,
is that what he got you?
It was a mixture. Like, I flicked the top bulb when I bumped in because we turned my car down so much on the 2-step.
Oh, it didn't bump in as hard?
So it didn't want to bump in. So we kept turning up the bump settings. So it kind of, we didn't have enough time to like get it perfect how it is when we do radio, like turned up shit.
Yeah.
So it flicked the top bulb, which ain't a big deal. And then it was rocking on it. So I was like, split second, I'm already nervous because now it's nighttime. And like I spun out there, which I'm fine now. And then I flicked the top bulb and I just got my own head. So I slept and now I'm hearing it from everybody.
Hearing it, seeing it.
Yeah, I'm on the way here. Troy's posting pictures of how bad he treated me because I'm like at this. I don't know. It's
At least you
I'm
lost
gonna hear
to
it for a while.
Troy, not like Bobby or something.
Probably would have been, probably would have
No,
been
man, I
better
love
for
Bobby.
you. It probably would have been better for you losing.
Bobby's
Bobby.
my boy.
it'd be better to lose anybody else because Troy is a professional in everything as far as shit talking. He was texting me Thursday morning.
He helped you with the car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We friends.
Yeah.
But if you learn anything about him, there ain't nothing if you racing, it's nothing to do with that. And like
Troy will draw on his mom if he
Yeah.
has to.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
When it comes to racing, you know?
yeah.
And Troy Sr. seems super calm from everything I've talked to him. I'm like, every time I see him, I'm like, man, you're like, Troy Jr. is always like, when I first met him was on the TV show that him and Victor did.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, man, this guy's crazy. Like they were screaming at each other and stuff.
Oh, Victor gets super pumped.
And now it's
Vic gets
completely different, but it was a funny first encounter.
Senior's a
with them.
legend. He's a legend.
Yeah, they're just
Well, that's like when I met Chris. I knew I had to beat him, from
Yeah.
everybody. So that's what I did.
Listen,
Makes sense.
y'all want to hear how I met Joey? So we go to Troy's invite race. It's the first one.
How he got blistered.
No, I beat him.
Let him win.
We're gonna give the full story. So he enters somehow into the invite, and he wasn't the invite. You have to be on the list,
Yeah.
right? Some guy just went on Troy's website, bought a ticket for the invite, and then couldn't make it and gave it to Joey. Joey shows up at the invite, but they let him in. He had a real street car. So
I was not a threat whatsoever to the class.
So I go meet his dad, Alfred, and they're like, "Oh, we're up here." They're just
Damn,
bullshitting.
he went right above you. You went right to his dad. You didn't even go to
Yeah, I
him.
went to the car
You went
owner.
right above him.
I went to.
I don't even think he knew I was
Joe-
driving.
Listen, Joey is just a driver, so
I don't think he knew I was
How do we
driving.
get a job like that? I'm interested.
we all need. I wish I had Alfred.
Yeah, I bet you do.
So, they're like, "Oh, we're from Miami. We just moved to Ocala," and I was like,
Trash.
"No way!" I was like, "That's where I'm from and live now." And he said where you lived, and I was like, I didn't say it, but I was like, I could have guessed that. But so anyways, I run Joey. He's like, "Man, I just got this little streetcar, power windows, and all this other stuff." And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna let him go because I don't want a red light against a car I know I'm gonna destroy."
Yeah.
So he thought.
Damn.
No, I let him go, right? And go on, pull it up.
Underestimated
Yeah, I
you,
want
dude.
y'all to know on the way here, he pulled this picture up and
I made
resaved it.
sure. I made sure I was gonna save it.
So Joey leaves wheeling, like pulled away from me. Anyway, I blew by him bad and beat him.
I actually
But
let
anyways,
off.
He goes and sends this picture to UPR, all these places, and they start posting it. Next thing you know,
Oh, of his car out in front of yours?
Yeah.
Picture.
Dang.
that
Presentation.
thing was all over. UPR's posting it, talking about look at our suspension working against this.
Look at that
Pro
thing
mod.
beating a pro mod.
Bro, I
And
thought I
since
had
then-
him the whole way. And then I was like, something felt off in the car, so I just turned it off, save it for another day.
No, that was me coming by. He thought it died.
I've done that before where somebody comes by me and I just cut it off. I'm like, I don't know.
Yes.
Oh
Just
my-
turned off. Battery died or something. I don't know.
I mean, that at that time, I was like, I had nothing on that car. I literally, like, my dad paid like $15,000 for it. He found
That car had
some.
a cool history. It was in.
Oh yeah,
at
it
Texas
got
2K.
confiscated at Texas 2K Street Racing. It was always like it had a Whipple, and then the guy did single turbo on it, and then some guy got it off that guy. I got confiscated with, and he did like a turbo 350 in it with Holly FI and stuff, and it was stock bottom end forever. And then I got with Jordan at Modular Head Shop, and we just did like some basic like headwork stuff. He did his cams on his stuff, and it like changed the game for that car. It was like super if I showed times, like it would super competitive stock bottom end 4.6. Like it was really impressive.
Yeah, so that's what, a 4-valve in that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had
don't know much about those Ford motors.
had Eric Gold tuning it, and I mean we did super good with it. And then we had like the motor was like I had like 100 plus passes on it, just beating it up. And then a reluctor wheel, like it like it stripped itself out, like the keyway and stuff, and it advanced the timing on the pass. And it pulled real good for a second there, and then it let all the rods out the side.
They always run best right before they don't. I always tell my friends that. They're like, man, it's running real good right now. I'm like, better
Joey knows
check it
about
over.
that. He blown everything up, including my car. He blew my car up on a 2-step while I was buying my tech card.
Oh yeah, I blew.
So he was doing a 2-step check on your car while you were buying a tech card?
That's such a long story. This guy wanted to throw
a questionable move.
I blew my motor up. I didn't blow it up. I've been a rod in like my OG stock head, stock block, which I had a stock head record for a while with the LS, and then.
How did no time guys have stock record? How does a no time guy have a record?
Tell everybody that. That's it. No, but I did. But then that guy in Dubai like blew it out of the water.
Oh yeah,
that dude
with the Mustang,
with the gray one. Oh, that's a bad man. But
Dubai clocks are different though. It gotta be. Everybody got a record in Dubai. Something's up.
560 foot track.
That's what I always heard about PBIR. We were like, it's a little short.
Is it?
That's what I always heard. I mean, it's closed now, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody can go walk it, measure it.
Should get out there. But so anyways, I hurt that motor. I bent the rod, and then it was this guy's like, let me throw your motor in.
Or his motor in your car.
Yeah, he wanted to put his motor that he was building for a full size truck in mine while I save up to do the motor that I have now. And I was like, no, because I pay for my car. Like no one's gonna tell me. Like everything's all my money. I don't.
You're
like
so
when
stingy on that. Just let him put it in there.
No, I don't let people have something over my head like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you only did this because you're.
Especially the motor too, because somebody might be like, well, let me look at the tune-up. How safe is it? It's my motor.
Oh, what's it run? And then tell everybody. Like I'm not a big grudge racer or nothing like that, but it's still fun that people don't know. And
it's not hard to know though in the no time. It's pretty easy to tell what somebody runs.
Setup, people think I'm super duper fast.
I'll put your video of a pass in Final Cut and tell you exactly how quick it ran.
Let's do that. Final Cut. Let's do it.
I mean, I have it on my computer, but like, send me a pass and I can tell you exactly.
Glenn told
me
to
the millisecond.
So like, Glenn told me he can do that on the thing, and then he sent what he thought I run, and I was like, "Damn, I need to see this app. Like, what are they doing?" Because it. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense as soon as you see the car move, and as soon if
the wind light, you stop it.
As soon as you see that, yeah, you can get.
Is a wind light immediately flick on as soon as you pass it, or do you have to look at where the car passes it?
It'd be pretty close.
Yeah,
just back it off.
You're just basing it.
You can back it off a little bit right before the wind light. I mean, you're gonna be a tenth in the ballpark.
It's not like we're trying to go perfect, but
that's what Kyle Loftus told me one time. He was like, 1320 video. He was like, I know what all these cars can run. Like I can look at all of them.
It's just when you get somebody like, heat of the day, I'll go. I don't know. It's just different. Sometimes you're not all the way. Like my car, if I'm going to turn it all the way up to blow it up in the finals, I'll do that. But it's not going to be anywhere to what I'll run if I'm next to somebody I know I can beat.
Not me.
But what were we saying right before this? Oh, the guy wanted to put his motor in.
Yep.
And I was so against it. And then Joey over here, he's like, dude, what's the worst that can happen? Throw his motor in your car and just go have fun. And
if you blow it up, you blow it up.
He's like, and I was like, no, because if I blow it up, someone's want me to pay for it.
Put it in fine print.
So I got this little lawyer over here. So I text the dude, and I was like, look, if I put which is my fine print, I was like, if I put your motor in my car and I hurt it, like, I have nothing, it's not my fault. Look how fast I've gone with stock junk. So, like, my tune-ups are going to be good, but I can't help it. And the guy's like, that's fine. Whatever you do hurt, I'll know to fix to make better. I was like, all right. So anyways, we never even made a pass to the motor. We heard that shit on a 2-step. Such a long...
By we, I mean me.
It's
been out here 2-step checking your car while you're not even there. So we're talking about a 600 cubic inch big block, right?
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
No, this was a stock aluminum 5.3 block with a...
Was it sleeved or anything?
No, they're good sleeve. The stock sleeves are good. That's what I had in my original motor. And it had a Dart center weight crank.
It was nice. It was a nice motor.
Cali's rods. Good
Heavy
piston.
foot over here got to it.
It had trick flow 220s on it. It was a solid piece. It was kind of a mimic of like Capizzi's stock bottom end, or not stock bottom end, stock block deal. And his light car that he runs like 420s with. So it didn't have aluminum rods and all that stuff, but it was close. The cam specs are there, the head and all that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, we might have a good runner. Well, anyways, there was an issue that I'm not going to put out there on everybody when it was assembled, and that fucked up one of the heads. So we put on a 2-step, and it wouldn't build it was down a cylinder. So we take it apart, realize what they did, and then they wanted to.
No, it's after we drove to Bradenton. Worst week of my life.
Yeah, we don't want to listen. Yeah,
So you guys hustled to put it back together.
No.
because my business, I'm a super busy guy.
Yeah.
And working hard. Joey was helping me then.
And I had to graduate in 4 days, and I was like, man, I really hope we win this race. We went through all this. I literally did a 24-hour day
So Troy's race was on a
to blow it up for him.
Well, it's a Friday, Saturday race, right? We went to test Thursday night. We go there, and the guy's like, oh, your M1's been sitting in your trailer for 3 months. I don't want to use it in my motor. It's bad. And I was like, no, I'm using it. This is good. I'm not buying new fuel. So he made me buy new fuel when I got to Bradenton. So I bought 2 things of fuel for no fucking reason.
$70 for 5 gallons.
Yeah, something like that. So $140. I spent $300 on the rental to enter. 200 or 150 in diesel to make it there. You know, this is an expensive night just to go test it.
Oil, trans fluid, all fresh for this deal.
Oh, everything.
Yeah, so I pull up to a tree, I get on a trans brake, and it's and we've tested it at the shop before we came, and it got on the brake. So then I pull up to the tree, I get on the brake, it barely wants to get on it. I get mad and let off the button, and it blew water everywhere. Like it lifted ahead. So I was like, damn. So we left the track that night at like 7:30, drove back to Ocala, pulled the motor, took it apart. The guy wanted to put the piano wire, old school shit, cut a groove in the sleeve.
Yeah.
And then he somehow had copper head gaskets laying around for a 5.3. Put those on there because it like melted a little bit of the block around the sleeve. It was a long story. So he's like, oh, it's good to go now. And I was like, nah, I had no faith in it. He's like, no, it's good. So I spend more money. We finished this at like 1 a.m, right?
Was the engine out of the car at that point? You guys were doing all this?
So we finish at 1 a.m. We go home. I wake up at 6. We go do what I do for work that morning. The guy's like, oh, I put the motor back together. No, sorry, we left the short block in. He's like, hey,
It was the heads off.
I put the heads back
Okay.
on and everything, and it's good to go. Me and him get done working at like 2 or 3, and rush to my house, get my truck and trailer, rush back to this dude's shop, compression check it. We're like, all right, it's fine. We're just going to go. Now we're going to go win.
One was a little low, though.
One was a little low, but I was like, dude, it's all right. We load the car and we drive down there. I pay at the gate to get in for the weekend. I already entered a shootout, more money spent. And I said, all right, I'm going to go fill my tech card out. So I'm over at Bradenton's tech card thing. I hear, wah, it sounded good on the 2-step. I was like, dang, I wonder whose car that was. Like, I heard it. I come back over there. Joey's so excited. Dude, this thing was shooting fire out, bug.
I was inside the car, and I'm seeing the flames out of both sides as I'm in there. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Hell
He's
yeah.
hype.
Yeah,
And,
making some power.
well, my friend was there, Jace, helping us tune that new setup. Mm-hmm. So that's why Jace is like, hey, while he's doing that, put on the 2-step real quick. I want to see.
Yeah, let's get it figured out.
So I come back over there. He's hype. Everybody's hype. And I'm like, oh, we in business now because I know my car works. And as long as I can make more power than I did with my old motor, I knew I'd do good. So then, anyways, I pull up to the line, and it wouldn't even get on the brake.
It did it again. I was like, rah, pa, pa, pam, poom,
So
pam.
anyways, Joey blew my car up on the 2-step.
Oof.
Ruined my whole weekend.
It had
I mean,
one-
what are friends for, really?
Brother friend. Hey, Friday night was good, though.
At least you have a car that you could pull apart pretty easily. Because, like, if you got to pull the heads off Joey's car, that's probably like a motor out job.
That is trash.
That is a motor out
That's
job.
trash.
Even
I mean,
my car.
Think about it. You gotta. I mean, it's like it's got a timing cover that like covers the whole thing.
Yeah.
and
State
then
of
And the turbo's right in front of it and
oh
stuff.
yeah.
So it's like.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can have them streetcar things. I literally sit on the ground,
yeah.
like pulling my converter bolts out. I sit Indian style next to my car.
Yeah.
I mean, but like
Right through the.
I mean, my motor I could get out in like once I get everything off. I mean, it's like an hour or whatever, but I just let Jordan handle anything with the motor. I mean, he's like a guru. It's crazy.
See, my car's pretty easy. It's like 3 hours full engine out from nothing to out, and then probably another, 2 or 3 hours back in.
Really?
It's really not that bad, but you got to take the whole thing apart.
I put my motor in alone in 17 minutes before Joey could drive to my house. He's like, hey, I'm going to come over. We'll help you put the motor that's in it now. And I was like, all right. I was like, I'll just get started waiting for him. And he pulled up. I was already like doing the bell housing bolts and everything. And he's like, what the fuck?
Why even come here?
I was watching some top alcohol guys in Indy last weekend because they were all there for the Cleetuson cars, and I always kind of thought like, oh man, that seems so difficult. And then you watch them, and I'm like, oh, actually, that seems extremely easy compared to
Bro,
what I have to do.
you
They're
watch,
like
how
NASCAR.
They just stand next to it and like
Legos.
They work
It looks
fast.
like Legos.
They work fast though. I mean, those people.
Yeah, but they got like
Oh, yeah,
clutch
they're
packs
man.
ready
Yeah.
to go. They can just like
Yeah, they
hot
have
swap
tables. They
clutches
got
in.
tables set up.
And they have special tools for
Yeah.
certain things. Like
Whereas me, I'm like, fiddling around with the same tool for 5 minutes trying to find the one I
Thing
need.
is, though, they do that. They do that like so competitively, like, and they do it all the time. Like, how many times do you think they tear apart that motor in a race, bro? Like,
top fuel's every round.
Yeah.
But I don't know what
Top alcohol is probably close.
I don't know if they have to pull everything because they got no boost.
It's got to be roughly that. Like, every other pass, at least to check stuff. I'm sure those aluminum rods stretch pretty vigorously on one or two passes.
I have no ambition to run that. Like everybody has a goal to like do some. I don't ever see myself wanting to run top.
I've talked about that because where we're at in radial tire racing, what do you consider the peak? What is the peak of our racing? Because like for me, like maybe pro mod. Like now,
That's my goal. I'd love to drive pro mod.
now it seems like, but like 3 years ago it wasn't.
You're right. 3 years ago, I never cared about pro mod. All right, honestly, I was talking with somebody along 3 years ago, maybe, and radial was the biggest hype and all of those stuff.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, "Oh, I want to build a pro mod one day." And I was like, "Ugh." I was like, "Who
Right?
wants that big tire wheelie bar, ugly, stretched out?" And I was like, "Nah." I said, I love Pro 275 LDR where it looks like a real car still.
yeah, it still looks like door cars. I like that.
But I really, my goal is drive pro mod.
Yeah, but now pro mod's cool.
It's cool as shit. And then think about it, they
and it's
always go
outlaw.
down.
And it's like more
Yeah.
outlaw now. It used
go
to
to-
just be like NHRA pro mod. Now they're adding it to like, Victor's adding it to a bunch
Yeah.
of FL2K
Yeah,
races.
So they always go down.
Yep.
So there's no bullshit at the track. Wasn't
Oh, and they
perfect.
drive them too.
Big
Yeah,
purses.
Dude, they're wheeling the whole shit. I
Yeah.
want to do it so bad.
Big purses and those things. And
But
they're
they need it.
simpler cars to work on than ours, probably.
Oh, yeah.
At least me and Joey's.
Yeah, I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
We're
everybody
idiots
said-
with street cars.
Whenever I say I want to drive pro mod, everybody's like, "You already do."
I mean, you're not far off.
It's stock wheelbase.
But yeah, the peak. Like, where is the peak? It used to be Radial versus the World.
Mm-hmm.
But now that class doesn't even really exist anymore.
Yeah.
And LDR, Ultra Street, those class racing, but that's such a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, them guys are like ragged edge.
You're searching
they're
for
ragged
thou.
No, if they could pick up 1 horsepower, they'll do it.
Like
Yep.
Tyler Gregan and his dad Bill Gregan. That's good people right there. But like
Yep.
talking to Tyler about being competitive in ultra, which is like not intermediate or not saying anything bad on it. It's like the beginning class of radial racing, ultra,
Yeah.
and then it goes from there. But they're not slow by any means. But just like the amount of money and time he's working on that all the time, and not in a bad way. It's just you're running that thing on a ragged edge. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
huge.
I hang out with a first round duck in those races a lot. James Tall sometimes. No, he's my boy, but I have to get on him because he abandoned me at Orlando after he went out first round, and I was there for like 8 hours by myself at that point because
Oh, damn.
he got out first round, and I'm not gonna blame him. I'd leave too.
Yeah, I don't ever know why people do that. I stay in. I mean, I never. Really
I usually stay and hang out, but yeah, I mean, I made it to the finals, and I was
yeah.
like, it was like midnight at that point, and I was at the top
Alone.
end of Orlando, completely solo, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Man, I almost wrecked that Orlando. That track just.
Top end of Orlando.
It's like a ghost town up there.
for
Oh,
a
yeah.
while.
It gets pretty scary up there at night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was next to the dumpster, and it was dark.
You got the woods.
Yeah,
There's deer there.
bunch of goats walking around.
Bro, this
Goats?
track.
Yeah, right next door, the neighbor has goats, dude. So crazy story. We were there right after they did like a big import race, and the neighbor has a bunch of goats, and like the talk was like, oh, the neighbor's really mad because during the import race, a bunch of guys hopped the fence and killed one of his goats
What the
in the middle of the night.
It's a sport.
It was one of those import races, dude.
They're
They sacrifice
sacrificing.
the
I was
goats
like-
to get to the finals.
I was like, did they eat it? Did they
They
sacrifice
put the
it?
goat blood right here. What?
Was it on the starting line? Was it like for traction?
How did they know a human killed it? Like,
There was probably some evidence that
Yeah, that'd
there was
be-
some foul play. But
They smoked the goat, bro. They went over there, smoked the goat.
Was it a gun?
did they think it was like just a wild goat? But
Yeah, just walking around.
yeah, Orlando's pretty questionable sometimes, but we were doing pretty good there for sick week. Granted, I had a pretty slow car out there, but
That
sick
looks like
week
a
it did
ton of
pretty
fun.
good.
I've been thinking about doing it with my step side, but the thought of it not being competitive at all. I know it's not about that, but I want
There's so many classes to try to fit into that it could be competitive. Even the dial your own, like if you can just run the same thing every day, you're competitive.
I want to do it because I won't need a trailer. I just put everything in the bed and just
That
go drive
sucks
around.
to do though,
Does
because then you have to unload it and reload it
Oh,
12
you're right.
times.
Instead of just unhooking the trailer.
Because I just put everything in my Mustang, and then you have to unload it at every stop.
Oh yeah.
And then
that's
like
very true.
you're like, oh, I need that tool, and you're on the side of the road, and you're like, "Ah, I guess I'll unload everything here.
That's the only reason why I don't. That's so much like. I mean,
much
it
work?
work like yeah, it's a lot of work, but like racing like how I race now is so easy. I mean, like very like small maintenance. So like I like it like that.
What, sick week?
No, I'm saying how I race
Like
now. Like
currently
what
racing
I do,
low
yeah,
maintenance.
I don't have a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, just change oil.
Some guys on sick week are wild, man. They're like,
I mean,
they'll change
Joey's,
motors.
Joey's transmission's out for the second time this week, but he's low maintenance.
I'm low
Right?
maintenance.
mine comes out pretty frequently as well.
It's all right.
Low
I've
maintenance.
become good at it.
I'll probably be at Are you gonna be at Troy's race May 20th? He's doing a street style thing. I'm sure
I
I'm
don't
gonna have
know,
to deal
man.
with you.
Oh, you should enter that.
Last time I
You don't have a
Jim
no time
Braun.
rule and go out there and whoop up on Joey.
whoop up. Last time I rolled up to one of his races, my second round draw was Houston.
Oh, that's a bad man.
I was like,
How'd you get in that though?
28, 29, right?
Why'd
Yeah,
you enter
that's the
28,
only one,
29?
'cause
it
it's
was the
free
only one he
entry.
had.
Free entry.
Oh, you
don't-
weren't in the invite? You
They
were.
didn't. Yeah, I wasn't on
But-
the invite. But dude, that was a bad draw. That man went like a 3.
You're talking about the
That
Fox,
man went
right?
like a 390 against
Probably
me,
look like a 322 because that bit
dude.
Bro, that car's retarded.
I left
I
on him,
ran-
so there's like a photo of us, like me a little on him at like maybe 80 feet out. But then this guy just drove around me.
That's exactly how Joey felt when he ran me.
Absolutely not.
Dude.
Hey, I was in a shootout at Orlando one time, and I got Scotty G in the semifinals. Oh my god!
What car's that one?
Pro
It's like a
mod,
pro.
the
That's a
yellow-
pro mod on
legit,
radials.
a yellow, purple, and white pro. The G unit it says on it.
Oh, yep.
Remember, I took a picture of us in the because they're both 68s.
Yeah.
I took a picture in the stage lanes. I was like, because everybody says I have a pro mod, and I was like, this is a real 68 pro mod, and everybody's like, oh, I see no difference, and that completely backfired on me. Everybody's like, they look like twins. One's
One's black, one's colored.
See, I
one's
knew
painted.
I knew I was in trouble because like he didn't really say anything when we drew each other. It was just like, oh, cool, and I didn't know who he was. And then I see a
He
pull
won,
up, and
didn't
it's
he,
got
that event.
probably, and it's got lights out stickers all over it.
Oh yeah, you screwed.
And it's like lights out 11, 12, 13. I'm like,
What's he run? LDR, right?
I think it's
Pro
I think it's a
275.
Pro
Oh, is he?
275
Oh, my
car.
bad. Yeah, he is pro. Yeah.
I'll tell you this. So
Pretty spicy car.
Anytime I draw someone or they draw
375.
me and they're faster, I'd straight up tell them I'm gonna fuck you up.
No,
Like-
Joey got the mentality. And even if he can't, he's going into it headstrong.
Like
I felt good that I got out on him, but he probably did the same. Like I'm gonna wait for him to leave, so on a red light.
Bro, when I ran Scotty G, no one's ever disrespected me like that in my whole life. That he drove away so hard and so fast, and I was really.
what's
frustrated.
worse, losing a Scotty G or losing a Troy?
Oh, dude, that's. No, when I pulled up next to Scotty G, I knew I was gonna lose.
Oh, okay. I got you. That's the difference.
Oh, that's not even.
Would you rather lose to yourself or get outrun? Because I've lost plenty of races to myself where I bump through or I do something wrong or car wheelies or spins or actually just straight up get outrun.
I don't know. They both dwell on you pretty. I can take losing, and
Yeah.
I can take people giving shit back, but I beat myself up the most. Like
I'm
Troy
hard on
making-
myself.
Troy making these posts and all that, it don't bother me, but I'd like get to myself like the whole ride home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why did I do that? I like, and it's still fun to me though. Some people get that too consumed and too serious and they kill the joy of it, and like I don't know, losing. No one likes to lose. Trust me, I don't like losing at all. But I mean, I can take it.
It's like Troy. Troy tells me he's like, this racing, you're either gonna whoop him or he's gonna whoop you. It's just one or the other. It's
I
just what it
try to
boils
be
down
hard
to.
on myself a little bit, especially
I
when
beat
I do
myself
something
up.
wrong. My wife gets on me. She's like, don't be so hard. I'm like, yeah, but what? Am I just going to
So-
go out there and lollygag every time? I got to be hard on myself.
So I figured out one of my issues. like I got my head at Showtime that had completely to do with me almost dying there. So, but
It's valid.
when I realized my real issue is it's all mindset, like competitiveness. You have to have you have to be on point, right? What I messed up 8 times is everybody always wanted to do some sort of a split, and immediately I would get relieved because all night long is like I run my racing program like my business, like everything. I try to teach this kid like everything I do is by time, efficiently. It has to be the fastest way possible. Like I'll sit up at night planning.
He's
out
going
things.
for a government job. He doesn't need all that.
Yeah, he's gonna be sitting around.
Efficiency.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's how I plan it. So all night long is like I won't eat at the track once we start going rounds.
Yeah.
And but when I get to the finals, right before the finals, people want to do a split. I'm like, sure. Every time I do it, I'll be like, oh, I made it. I made money tonight, and I made it to the end. And then right there, I screw up somehow. And then, so I realized that, and that's what I've been focusing on. Whatever the Troy deal, I screwed up there. But as far as like the reunion, once we got to the finals, it didn't matter. Like I was full game on, and
Yeah.
like, I killed the tree. That guy had a fast car that I ran. He spun, but I didn't spin, so that ain't my problem. But like, he spun like 50 feet, 56.
He made it all the way
out.
through, heat of the day, everything like the worst track condition, and then the man spun when it
Then
matters.
spices
so, like,
it up when you
He
scared
thought,
him,
he
dude.
thought
You
we
had
were
him shaking.
gonna, or we went to like discuss like, do you want to split or are we running for like the whole bag? Like, what's the deal? And he was like, shook. He thought we were trying to grudge race him for money. He was
He
like,
thought
I'm
we
not
were
that
putting more money
confident.
on top of it, and I was like, oh dang, because the guy doesn't know who we are. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy doesn't know who I am. I'm the runner-up pro. You know what I'm saying? Like statistically, this
yeah.
man about to beat me if you look at it right.
He's
And
like,
then I
I'm
was
about to get another runner up. You know, what's the deal?
No, I didn't have that mindset. So I'm winning. But,
That was a good trophy too to win.
Oh, so
yeah.
cool! I got the glass.
That glass, like
and
Yeah.
the big check. I love the big checks. They're all. Oh, I got 2 of them.
trophies are almost more important than money in a lot of.
I don't care about the money.
The trophies are the important part.
Like whatever, that was a $5,000 win. In 2 years, when I look at that check or that trophy, I'm not gonna remember that money that I had to spend to fix my transmission that I broke.
Exactly. That shit's gone whether you won
Yeah.
or not.
I'm all about the memories and the journey and all that. Like you were bringing up my dad racing a car. I was 6. I don't remember. I know that car. I loved it. I have pictures of it. There's me sitting in it, all the other stuff. Like growing up, that was I always had a picture of it on my wall. That was like my dream favorite car. I didn't think I'd be able to find it and buy it back. So like these trophies and these checks and pictures and stuff like that in my head is when if I die while my kid's young, he's gonna have like more documented history and more cool stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, because you've taken him along with
oh yeah, he loves
all of this. I
You
see
wanna
him at
talk
the
about-
track all the
there's
time.
Nothing Facebook can say. He was tearing me up after I lost.
Oh, he's hard on it, bro.
He
That
is
kid's
so-
ruthless.
He's ruthless, and I love how competitive he is. But like the Cole brothers were parked next to us. One of their friends was standing there, and he was just laughing at my kids, not telling me. He was not being disrespectful, but just
While you talk shit
what
to you.
Yeah, just what are you doing out there? You need a pillow, and like I'm just. And then people start messing with me because I'm getting out of the car and listening to my child go off on me pretty much about it. And then my 8-year-old. And then people coming up talking to me. I was like, nothing you can say. Like
My kid already got to me. Thanks.
I'm on 275 headed home, and my kid's sitting next to me.
Silent treatment on you.
Yeah, I had no
Dang.
music on because I'm like, why did I do
You gotta
this?
sulk a little bit.
And he's like, we could add $3,000 because it was a $3,000
Dang.
payout. And he's got this thing. If ever I win or get into money, I give him $100 because he helps.
Yeah.
It makes him feel. And he's like,
I could add $100.
he's just throwing his hands up. I'm driving down the highway, and he's just like, I could add $100.
Kids trying to get paid.
Yeah, he's
man.
like, now I get nothing. I didn't get paid.
He won when you won the reunion. He's like, about time you did something worth talking about. I'm like, oh my god, bro.
Dude, before
my
long,
boy.
it's gonna be like my boy with the Green Mamba, him and his son
Oh, why can't I think
Cole.
of his
Right?
name? Dang, man.
Yeah, it's just escaping me. But
Rick Prospero.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rick.
there you go.
Rick and his
I
son,
think
dude. They
it's a
just.
lot.
But it's him and his son, and they have that car so figured out, and that car's been together for
Ever.
10 years.
Dude, I love the whole father son things. Like,
Yep.
Because, I wish I had it, but now I'm living it with. See, I love doing that to
This
Joey.
guy.
But I love, like, I'm doing it with my kid, but when I look, at other people's teams, like just watching it. It's cool. Like Alfred and Joey,
Not a winning team though.
they'll get it together. But
Your dad enjoys it though.
Yeah, I mean,
He seems to enjoy it every
He
time
just-
I see him.
he never had anything growing up like what I had. So he tries to give me like everything, you know, and like it's a
Yeah,
blessing.
that hard.
Like he didn't have a dad either, you know, and like he made it for himself and put 32 years in with the county, and like he just always worked hard, and he always had like hot rods and like
He
fast.
set himself up. That's smart. That's something I'm messing up with. Like owning my own business, I don't have a future set up for money.
Yeah.
His dad had the drop program, 32 years of accounting.
Yep.
He had investments along the way, and then retires and he's bored. He's working again and doesn't even have to work.
Yeah, like-
that's smart, and that's
He didn't even have to like build another car like for me to race, but like I grew up in it. He always had stuff like my brother used to drive and stuff, and like I don't know, just kind of like snowballed into like it was never nothing serious when I lived in Miami. Like I was also like 15, like I was already going really fast, but like I don't know, like once we came here, we went to like 2 Florida No Time events. He was like, all right, like we're gonna get into this, and now at least like I always enter every event like to support or whatever, and like just go out and see how I do. That's how I progress as a driver. Like I think I got good from racing faster people because I knew I had to do a job if I wanted to win. Like you have no other choice. So like I got really good at the tree making like driver, you know, moves like instantly, and like I was always wheeling, like had a 3-speed in it.
train how you fight or whatever.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah. Not letting people get in your head.
Oh, I
'Cause
don't-
People could easily get in your head when you're.
Oh, not me, boy.
I've had a couple people try to do some staging battles with me. It's
I had at Troy's race a street style van. I was in like the 2nd or 3rd round. Like I knew I always go out first round because I race people like Chris or like someone faster. So like
yeah.
this was the first opening besides a grudge race that I was like, I fit all the rules. I'm gonna do good here. And this guy had this big block Camaro, and I was like, well, not that I was stressing it, but like I knew I was gonna have to like turn something on to win. So I just left my same heated day tune up, and I
I
just
got that staging duel on you, right?
yeah. And he was
That's
like,
where he's got to watch it because his car takes so long to spool.
Yep.
If Joey's sitting there and they're both on the bulb, and he looks down to see how hot his car is getting, or he looks around or does anything, and that guy had went in, and that 1 or 2
I
seconds
would've
go
red
by,
lighted him.
he's not red.
so I make
You'd be
sure.
screwed, you wouldn't be
Yeah,
on
you
the chip.
you time out. It would have red lighted me. That's what I mean.
If you just wait to bump in.
But yeah, but I'm
if you
saying,
just
like-
bump in without boost because you know you're about
Yeah,
to time out,
no.
So
you're just
either
not
way,
on the
it's a
chip.
screw up. You have to. You can't
Yeah,
get wet.
Yeah.
I stayed like super sharp, and like the whole time in the car, like he could try whatever he wants. You can't get into my head. Like you just can't. I got my dad screaming at me in the window because I did the burnout in the water as I'm backing up, and you ain't getting in my head.
If you've been around Alfred, you can't get in Joey's head because his dad be chewing him out. Joey be on the step, and his dad be slamming on the window, yelling about
I don't even know what's going on. So like you just can't like get through to me if I'm in the zone, and like I'll get super pumped up. Like the whole time we're sitting there is like I knew 2 minutes are going by. I'm looking down at the draggy on my phone, like I'm watching time go by, and like I got a 10-gallon fuel tank. I don't know what he got, but I'll sit here all day. I had my
Yeah.
car in neutral, like I was clearing it out on the line, and then I seen him like inch forward, and I knew next the ball was coming. So I was already on the trans brake. I just wasn't gassed. So the second I seen it, I got up in there, and I just
This is a horrible podcast to show how Joey really is in life. He's being too calm.
I was gonna say actually,
get-
do you when you're pulling up? I find myself completely calm. What do other people feel? Because I was.
Oh, I'm
I never
pumped.
realized.
Do you get
I'm-
calmer, or do you get like a little
No.
bit more like
I
pumped?
get
kinda like
so amped. I'm like, when he lit that bulb, I'm like my car takes so long on the brake that I'm thinking about stuff as it's spooling up, and all I can think about is how I'm about to destroy this man. Like he cannot mess with me.
Heather always says I look scared shitless. I'm not. You got to respect the car.
Yeah.
But it doesn't scare me. But I guess like once I strap in my car, I'm sitting there and I'm like getting everything together, like mentally and all that. I guess I look scared, but I never paid attention until they started Nate putting them videos in my car. I'm like, I can't like breathing. My chest is like doom doom. I don't even realize I'm doing that. I guess I'm like breathing real deep. And then I remember in No Prep Kings, we had a camera on the dash looking at me, and someone pointed out to me, and I started watching every one of them that I did. I don't blink the whole pass. Like I feel like if
it's
blink-
only like 3.5 seconds
you
to
know what
not
I'm saying?
blink.
But
It's
like
really
you
not
don't
that bad.
like once I go in on it, I guess I never like I don't know. Like, you're just so in a zone, you feel like if you blink, you can miss. Something can happen. I don't know.
My car is like, it runs good, but like I've gotten so used to it's not fast anymore. So I'd be looking around while I'm driving now. Like, I
Yeah.
seen him in the mirror and I started hitting the brakes.
That's the best once you get one.
I'm gonna use the bathroom.
No, nobody's heard.
No one's heard this story. What a best way to do it.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to the Chris and Joey show.
Yeah. Hopefully it was
We
good. while I
actually
was
always
gone.
talked about
we always
doing
talked
a
about
YouTube
doing
like
a
that.
podcast, but
Oh, well, here you are.
no, we feel we're not good on this kind of stuff. Cameras. Nate gets his phone out, like after I make a pass, something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, so blah blah blah," and I immediately go like, "I can't even."
Well, it took Nate a while too.
If
So.
Nate is ever around me, I
Talking to a
got-
microphone, dude. You want to start a podcast? Guy can't.
if
even talk
Nate's
to a
ever around me,
microphone.
I got about 3 saved videos on my phone where I'll start messing with him while he's recording. And you could go through his videos. He'll start breaking face. He'll be like, I just get on him.
It's hard being a YouTuber out here with these guys, you know.
Y'all have. It's crazy. If I feel like Bradenton, Tampa area is just like the king of YouTube.
Look at Nate right here.
Drag race and YouTube.
Look at Nate right there,
Out
boy.
here on Nate. It's kind of the bigger spot. I feel like. I do wonder what other states really even compete with the racing we have in Florida.
Oh, I mean, bro. The
Oh,
Maybe the
Carolinas.
Carolinas.
But
That's
true. No time, like true grudge racing. Well,
they have
I
a
mean,
lot
we
of
have that here.
backcountry tracks that are really cool.
Yeah, that's what
like
they got.
in the woods where you're.
They got
like,
showtimes everywhere.
yeah.
Is
Like I've
what it
asked
is.
Lyle Barnett and them, like, why are the Carolinas? And they're just like, that's like the hub of racing.
Bro,
Well, of
there's
course, that's
tracks
where-
like 30 minutes away from each other, like 5 of them.
I've seen posts of people like 3 races in a weekend at 3 different tracks.
they'll
I'm like,
go.
how the hell is that even possible?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like,
I mean, we're pretty lucky where we live. We got Bradenton, Orlando, Georgia. I mean, I live like 45 minutes from Gainesville.
Showtime. I mean, you guys are just there.
I
It
think
sucks that
Showtime's so cool.
PBIR shut down.
Yeah.
Well, our shop in Clearwater was right on top of Showtime. Like it was.
The faster problem's right by there.
Yeah,
right?
that was where we first were, and it was
What, you-
legitimately backed up to Showtime.
Oh,
And we used to go there because Jeremy knows Yoho, and he would just kind of let us,
open a date.
Yeah.
Go in there.
even just like during the day when he was tuning, he could go like rip a car wide
Bro,
open
so many
throttle.
people hate Yoho. I love that guy. I got no problems with him.
I got no problems with him either.
I think he's just
crazy,
crazy.
and I
Every
think he
time
would
see
say
him-
that too.
When I went to that last race, I didn't tell Joey that I was bringing my car. He's like, "Oh, I'm winning this event." He was hype and everything because I hurt my tranny at the reunion. But I was like, you know what? I just gotta Showtime will be so turned down.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll slip. And anyways, it did. But so I told Joey, I said, "Hey, I'm on the way. I brought the caddy." I'm talking to him, and then
shit!
when I pulled my GPS, I always go to one way there that brings you down where that bridge is above you, the highways up there.
Yeah.
But some reason it took me a different way, and I didn't even realize it. I was like, damn. Well, I come up to this dirt road, and it's like Showtime with a sign.
It says Dragway entrance.
Turn right, and I was like, something don't feel right about this. I got a 34-foot bumper pull trailer, and it's a dirt road. So I'm looking, I'm like, all right,
Oh, yeah, you
this
went in backwards.
Sign says this is the track. I'm doing it. So I drive down it, and I pull up to the gate, and I was like, no, fucking, it was locked. And then I put in reverse, start backing up. Yoho comes out of nowhere on a Polaris. And he's like, this is only on Saturday nights, but I'm going to let you in. I was like, thank God. But anyways, I sneak attacked Joey. So not only did I bring my car and not tell him, I literally came in the back way and came right up behind
Felt
him.
like calling him out.
He was so mad, bro. He was pissed.
Well, your car. I mean, it seems like it could have won there if you.
I had a car to beat. Not being oh, wait.
But both of you guys. I
yeah.
mean, it's
Oh, it's-
really a tuner.
I look at
Reading
Showtime
the track
like the street. It's
battle.
the equalizer.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Showtime is the equalizer.
like
That's why
the
the back of the
craziest part
track
is like everyone thinks like, oh, Showtime, like what it has like a testing tonight. Just hold on because that's like they don't do what they did for this Wednesday. Like the track actually wasn't that bad, but it was still like
I think people mess up not going to Showtime test and tune and testing for no prep races.
Yep.
yeah, that's a
Shit.
perfect
That's what
way.
him said we'd always do, but we always ran out of time. Like, if you plan to no backtrack or front side no prep, like the Orlando one they put on or Showtime, just go there on a streetcar night or on a testing two night, get in the lanes with a streetcar. And I mean, it's not gonna be perfect data, but that track's pretty sketchy.
A few months back, I was at Bradenton and these guys were testing at the back of the track.
How?
I
Like that.
He
I
said,
honestly
"How?
have
You
no
ready to do
idea.
it?"
I saw it. I saw them preparing to do it. It was like late, And I was like, what the hell's going on here? Who's
Really?
back of the
Does
pack?
Victor know this?
Might have been Ryan Martin or
No, I'm
something.
pretty sure they knew. It wasn't like a no prep Kings car. It was like just like a street car.
Dang.
But I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Probably Fox body.
My favorite thing is to
We can get on Victor about that a little bit.
My favorite thing to do is to camp at Bradenton and send Victor pictures of me on the track hanging out. Like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. We'll be driving the golf carts around.
Yeah. Well, there's a Immokalee too that's south of here.
I've never been there. You've been there.
I've never been there either.
Yeah, I made my first. Well, Homestead Speedway, they do this thing called Fast Lane Friday, and they literally like the pit road for NASCARs. It's well, obviously when they're not doing like NASCAR races, they clear it out and like they have like the first 60 feet on the left side is concrete, and they just hand spray it, and the other side's asphalt. And I was 15, and my birthday was like a month away, and my dad was starting to teach me how to drive with the truck and trailer and stuff. So I drove there.
What was it like to have a dad to teach you how to drive? Never mind, go on.
It was great, Chris. Thanks.
Mine didn't teach me how to drive a truck and trailer either.
See, this is why he's.
just crashed
This is the
a few times until I
This is
figured
the raggediest person I know for
my
real.
dad did teach me when I was like 11 how to drive a truck. I was just messing with you.
Anyways, so I pulled up.
Big karma.
Big karma.
Big karma.
I pulled up and I had glasses or whatever, and my dad's like, just see if they ask for ID or whatever. So I had a squeaking voice, still do, but I was just like, yeah, one driver, lady must have been her first day, just handed me a car. So yeah, game over. I went out there, and
Didn't you do some huge wheelie?
no, that was the second time I went there. So like my dad, we didn't know what we were doing. It was just got tuned at the shop in Miami, and we didn't even have a laptop. So my dad he got like one of the wastegate lines, and he put like a valve like from Home Depot on it, and it
Yeah.
was either open or closed. Like that's all we knew. And like we'd adjust our whole tune up for like a year and a half. Just all I knew, like I YouTubed it and I went on the Holly and I'd adjust the 2-step on the dash. That's
Yep.
all I did. And like I'd go there and we put it 4,000 RPM on wastegate, and I went like 7.0 my first pass, and I was like the coolest thing ever. And I had gone like I was like eating shit already with it on the street.
7.0 is pretty fast.
Oh, for my first pass at 15, like
Yeah, for a 15-year-old?
we went to the street one time
7-0 is still fun.
to get like my feet wet. We went on the street one time and he forgot to close the valve. He forgot to close the valve, and I had that shit all over the road. He was looking for every bar to grab to
Yeah.
hang on to, and I was just both lanes. It got out of control fast. And then I went to a Immokalee the next day, and they didn't ask either. So we went like a quarter way on the valve, and I was going like 6.0s the next day. So then I went to the next fast lane, and like actually just like to 2 months ago, I had the fastest 60 foot there. I had it there for like 2 years, and on the no prep, we like lowered the tire pressure, you put a little weight in the back, and I went like 124 60 foot on the back tire like that, like all the way out there. It was like the coolest thing
Dang.
ever.
That track does seem cool. I like the outlaw small
Immokalee's-
backcountry tracks because Victor at Bradenton has done such a good job of capturing that environment, but then also having big events. Like,
Bradenton.
you roll up to Bradenton, you know everybody that works there. I'm sure you guys both do too. And
Good
it
people.
feels like a small time track, and then they have these
Bro, I love Sean.
pro mod races.
Always looking mad at me.
Dude, we were there
Sean's
like
so grumpy, but he's such a nice guy.
He's from Ocala.
I know.
he was talking so much shit about us yesterday. We were there with Boosted Boys, and I was hanging out with them, and he was just on the mic at Test and Tune, just talking shit about us.
Yeah, that's how I learned he was from Ocala. I'm in the staging lanes, or I'm at the burnout box about to pull into it, and they had to check the track. So I shut my car off. I'm sitting there, and I hear, "Yeah, I seen this car at Cars and Coffee," because I would go park my truck and trailer at like down a plaza away from Cars and Coffee, and
Yeah,
drive
and then
my
just
car
drive
up
it over.
like I'm driving a pro mod up. And seen this thing at Cars and Coffee last weekend, and he thinks he's fat. He's just talking shit. I was like, who's in the tower right now blasting me? Like, I have no idea who this man is. I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was, and then that's when I realized it was the first time I met Sean. I went to Bradenton with my car when it was fresh, just finished it, and he came walking up, and which I respect this. He went through my whole car,
Yeah.
and me.
He's a safety guy.
Oh yeah, and he's
100%.
like, "I've never seen you before," and I was like, "How you doing?" And then he's like, "This car looks serious." I was like, "Yeah, it looks it." And then he's like, "Well," and he checked everything, belts, the cage cert, went through it all, talked to me about a lot of stuff, And then he's like, I'm keeping my eye on you, and also, and I respected that. And then, cool guy.
Yeah, he got on my dad because I raced for the longest with no cage, and he was like, so
Yeah,
then
Bolton cage.
Pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it
That's
was-
basically no cage.
yeah, it was bolts in, and like I had like the little swing up bar and stuff, and yeah, he was like, you're doing no time, so you don't show time and get kicked out. I'm like, that's pretty much how I got started into it because he got on me like at Street Car Takeover, and I was like, Dad, we should just do no time. So then just progress.
I got kicked out of Bradenton and my stepson.
For going too fast.
Yeah, that time I went there and Nate turned, went, and I guess that it was real low on timing everywhere. That's what really picked up. But that guy, Chap, that
Chaps.
passed away.
Yep.
I was in the staging lanes and he, anyways, I made a pass, did like the 8th mile, and I came back around. He's like, he's talking to me about something. Oh, do you have a helmet and all this other stuff? And I was like, yeah, because if you're doing 8th mile, they don't really pay. I was running no time, but they don't really look at the quarter time. You know, I'm just driving by at the quarter, not doing nothing. And then, so then I was like, man, I'm gonna run it out the back. That truck will go 980s. It's a nitrous deal. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna run it out the. I ran it past the 8th this time, and I guess I went like 1160 or 1170 through the quarter, and you have to have a cage at 1150.
Yeah.
So he came up to me, and I'm sitting in a truck in the staging lane, and it's got leather, AC, everything. And he comes up and he reaches like where the cage should be, and he's like, "You don't have no bars in here?" I was like, "No, sir. It's just a normal truck." And he's like, "Well, you went pretty fast out there." I was like, "Yeah, I can't believe it went that quick." And he's like, "Well, if you don't slow down, they're gonna have to kick you out." And I was like, "I understand." So I was like, "Oh, I'm blasting down this time." So then I went through there, and I was parked by the stage lanes. He's like, "You know, you're not making another pass here tonight." I was like, "Yes, sir."
Yeah, you get the one. Run some 8th mile hits just to see what it does. I was in Indy just last weekend, and they're like, "How fast does your car go?" And I always just try to. I'm like, "It may go an 8." Just so that they don't ask me any more questions, because like I don't want to deal with the tech guy. I know my car's safe enough.
Yeah.
If they're gonna come kick me out, whatever. But like I don't like dealing with the tech guy at every track. So I'm just like, it may go an 8.
Some of them like I
It's true.
understand.
It
Like,
may.
It
You
may.
know. It may.
like they do their job like good, but some of them are like way too.
Yep.
Like it's like too far. Like this guy's like, your belts are expired. I'm like, bro, like I'm going slow.
They're
My
quick
belts
to
were
expire.
My belts
Yeah.
were literally a month out.
And they were telling you something already.
And the only reason they were out, I was only racing my car for like 6 months at a time, is because I bought them to get fitted in the car while
Yeah.
building it, which was a mistake.
That happened
Learned
to
that.
me because
I
I
got
got
these are brand new.
yeah.
And they're like, oh, if they sit in the sun, I was like, does this car look like it gets left outside in the sun?
I don't understand how belts go bad.
OEM ones don't. Actually, that happened to me at Sick Week because the
That's
Mustang,
a really good point.
30 years, they're
That's
fine.
That's a fantastic point.
Next time they try, this is
bet.
OEM, bro.
I just bet. Hold on, I got you.
Well, it happened to me at Sick Week. I have harnesses in there, but they're the old ones from the Camaro that are expired. So they're like, oh, you can't run the harnesses. I was like, okay, I can run the stock seatbelt though. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So I just had the
Nice little
harnesses
loophole.
on and then the stock seatbelt over it because
I'm gonna
they're.
get 68 Camaro seatbelts and they only had the lap. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, look right here.
I can't say nothing.
It was a 3-point with harnesses underneath it because I'm like, I'm running the harnesses
This
because
man is super safe.
it's a Kirky.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my camera turned off.
Oh, we're done?
No,
Oh.
the audio's still going. Screw the camera.
Oh, this will just keep playing? Oh, nice.
The audio go forever, and people watch this on Spotify a lot too.
All right, so
If-
I'm gonna send you the
yeah.
picture of me beating him, and then we're gonna overlay it on YouTube
my
when
God.
the camera
I can
goes
put
out.
that as the thumbnail.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Fabulous.
So what'd you do before you got tied up with 1320 and Cleveland? You were going to college?
Yeah, I was only like 17.
Oh, are you?
So how'd you
young?
like meet Cletus or Garrett?
We met through a mutual friend. He had a cool car, and I was like, oh, another person with a cool car. There's not many.
I got the
so-
the Showtime killer calling me.
my God.
Oh, dang.
back.
Well, he should come on before his next event and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah,
Because
Out for Blood
might as
4.
well. Yeah.
It's in October, I think.
That's in October.
right before FL2K, I think.
No, it's after.
Right after
This is
FL2K.
the 20 something always.
Yeah.
30th now, ain't it? Or something? 27, 28?
Listen, I love Victor. That's my beau. But Gainesville, FL2K, that
You're going there.
Dang.
Gainesville.
Gainesville has an amazing
No,
track.
I'm
We
not
got
even-
hit by a natural
no.
disaster here,
Listen,
man.
listen,
No,
listen,
that
listen.
tower is cool.
No one's talking about the track. All right, we could have ran on a dirt road all weekend for all I care. But the college town,
Oh, yeah.
bro, that was just amazing. Like,
Was it?
going out, like just everybody, like everyone from the track was like relocated to
You
the.
could go to college.
It's true.
You're like 19 with no job.
Don't you live like right there anyways?
Yeah.
You could just go there.
Yeah, but it's not the
college. Yeah,
same.
you could
like
just-
It doesn't have to be a
Bro,
physics.
it's so
no,
cool.
no,
I
no.
went to an event
You could just
a half
go
hour
there.
No, no,
away
no,
as
no.
a college child.
No.
You could just
Yeah.
go to it.
No, it's not the same. Like all your boys, like from the track there, like it was just cool. Like
Bradenton's the same way. We leave Troy's race on a Friday night and go hit these bars and stuff.
Yeah, if you go to like downtown Bradenton or Sarasota,
Oh, dude.
it's pretty popping down there.
I like it.
But
Talk about the helmet. Cooper don't know about the helmet. No,
No,
one knows
we-
about the
Sick
helmet.
Week was
doing
pretty
it.
cool too
So
because
I almost stole Cletus's helmet out front.
yeah,
Big one.
that's what some would say.
why do you want a helmet like that?
Oh, it would fit. No, I didn't almost steal it. That's not what happened.
Before it was his?
Oh, was it
Or
his?
after it was
No, it
his.
was definitely his.
We were talking about this when you left. So I fell asleep at like 5 a.m. Saturday morning and headed back to the track. No,
I was
this
up.
is very
so.
dumb. I was just overly tired. So we're pulling back in the track, and I guess I like.
It's a pretty big helmet.
See, I hid this from everybody, and now here I am telling like the world.
Yeah.
I don't-
You
it's
gonna
not
do
that
this?
happened. I don't give a shit. So
All right.
Pretty far
I
into
fell
the
asleep
podcast.
as I turned.
He told me
around.
not to tell a soul, and here we are.
I made a right into the track, you know, the racer entrance, and right there dozed off. I went in that ditch. Not hard. When I tell you the softest, I have a 2-wheel drive dually Dodge, and like I opened my eyes, and I was like, "Oh dang, I'm going in it," but the front already dropped. A little pizza cutter 19 and a half, and I went right down into the ditch. There was water, and all I seen is the helmet.
Dumbass.
I'm
man.
looking up at the windshield. I was like, I always joke about how I want that helmet. I'm gonna put it in the bed of my truck. And I was like, damn, the helmet. He's sleeping.
I wasn't
This is how
asleep. I
smooth
wasn't
this
up.
was. It was so smooth. I was like, Joey, dude, we're in a ditch.
Such a gentle car accident. He didn't even wake up.
This idiot, what? Freaks out like we're on fire. He has no shoes on. I don't know why he took his shoes off.
No, I had
Right?
I had Crocs.
He's like freaks out, opens my door, jumps out. Dude, we're in water. So now he's like knee high, deep in
Knee-deep,
water. He's
bro,
like,
I'm
oh
talking
my
like-
God, I'm in water. I said, why the fuck would you jump out? What are you
Like
doing?
splashed up, bro.
Yeah,
Like I'm
splashed out. He's
soaked.
completely soaked. And then he's like, how did we do? And he's looking up at
I'm like, is that the
the
helmet?
road, and he's like, how do we? Starts laughing about the helmet, and I was like, dude, we are so screwed. So like, my truck was one wheel was off the ground, 2 wheels, whatever, was off the ground. So I was trying to back up, and it was just spinning that one. Got no locker. So then there's that country boy that works security at night with that Z71.
Yeah.
At Bradenton all the time. Great guy. We walked down to him, and I was like, hey man, I kind of went in this ditch. Can you?
I think
pull
his
me
name
out?"
is Troy.
Is he?
No, it starts with a T though. It's not Troy, but it starts with a T. It'll
Great
come to
guy.
me.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even take a tip. I tried to tip. Anyways, he pulled me out. So like nothing happened to my truck. There ain't no damage. No, it's just I kind of slid down the grass. It wouldn't stop.
Like literally, I thought like when he was in a ditch and like the way the truck was angled, I was like, are we like going plummeting
Thought
in
the
water?
front end was ripped. Nothing. We just pulled it out, went and parked, and went.
Bro,
to
I
sleep.
had tears. It was because I thought like
And we
we
didn't
were.
tell a soul forever.
I thought we were in the middle
Yeah.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like because he was like, we're in a ditch, and I was like, last I remember, like we were just driving and I couldn't stay up.
But we left with everybody. All these people were hanging out in town and Waffle House or whatever. So we were just out for hours talking to everybody. And then you're like, dang.
Look at the time.
You got remember we were telling you about how we were at Bradenton Thursday night and then took the motor apart, fixed it. I worked
That
all
was
day
that Friday.
put it all.
Oh,
And then so
yeah,
like
yeah.
we were on no hours of sleep and it anyways, that was dumb.
I just remember looking up and I was like, is that the helmet?
just imagine you wake up and there's that big ass helmet. Dude, I need it.
Glowing.
I don't think that he was sleeping. I think like he was like
Looking at the helmet while I
like
turned.
yeah, he was
this.
dozing and he
Yeah.
was turning and looking at the helmet.
Well, I tell you, we were angled perfect at it. It was just right there. But anyways, that was a great.
Yeah, that helmet. It was before they painted it too, because it used to be.
It was blue.
Oh, was it blue?
Yeah.
Oh
We got a
man, so
picture.
it was pretty recent.
You want to load a picture of us?
It was fairly recent in there.
The Dodge is face down, ass up. No, don't pull it up.
No? It's great. I remember like I don't think it was so soft. I never like knew that happened. I heard him putting it in park while it was spinning. So it was like grrr, you were
Yeah.
trying to put it in park. And I was like,
Yeah, because I was mad.
Yeah, the panic starts to set in a little bit too. You're like, oh, are we gonna start sinking more into this ditch?
I was just like, man,
Nosedive.
whatever. And then he's like, we're in the ditch. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't believe his first instinct is to jump out. Like, what if we were on a highway and I just wrecked and his first instinct is to jump into traffic?
Just abandons you.
Yeah, just jumps out.
Well, I've been there in like a side by side. You get stuck, and you're kind of like the worry starts to set in a little bit of panic, and you start like grinding a gear reverse.
I've seen some video not that long ago. Like, no, it was a while ago actually. But you were like mudding with Gary and stuff, and you went like submerged.
Yeah, I've been
like
underwater.
you were under.
You were underwater a few times.
He was under.
I've been fully
Strapped in,
submerged,
under.
strapped in, helmet on,
And your
in the
water's
water.
above you.
Yeah, it gets a little scary. You try to keep like a strap like half on, but not on, so you can kind of quickly get out. But it's not something you deal with in a race car. It's different. Worries.
I just think
the fire
the
is
angle,
worry.
waking up at that angle, like you're like, I woke up and I was like this, like I was just freaked out. All I knew was to get out.
That was good. Thank God for that Z71 there.
Yeah,
I don't know
man,
the guy's name.
he's
He's
on
cool.
patrol out there.
He was a good guy.
Yeah,
He'll sit there and watch movies. all
pull you
night.
out, dude. So with the rules in no time, I'm curious about it because it's pretty lawless, but you also need some kind of rules.
So like,
So let me just throw this out there right away that if I can afford to, I would be class racing. I love going rounds. Troy and all them make fun of me. I don't like betting money. Like, everybody works for money. I work hard to go out there. Like, when I make $1,000, like, that was hard labor. Just like anybody else. I'm not saying I'm different than nobody else. But to go out there and risk either gaining another 1,000 or that just ain't my style. So that's why you'll never see me grudge race. I'm just a no-time shootout guy because I can't enter a class with my car because it's a chassis car.
Have you looked at, betting Joey's dad's money instead? Putting that up.
I would love that.
That seems like
somebody
a,
else's.
see me like
Yeah.
my dad is like him, hates to gamble. Me,
But the rules are pretty simple.
I gamble
Troy's
everything.
invite, there is no rule.
yeah, you're
You
invited.
have to
Like,
be invited.
yeah,
Which someone tried to protest me.
an
And
invite only.
they're like, his car don't enter the rules, and there is no rules. It's an invite.
Yeah.
Troy entered me. And, well, it's not fair. He's a chassis car. Yeah, I'm a chassis car of stock heads and like a stock block. Like, that's what's cool about the Florida Invitational. Troy's not an idiot. This is his life, right? So he looks at it. Whatever, my car is a 1980s chassis car. It was built in the 80s and it's been updated. It's still, get underneath it. It's a pile of shit. Is it not?
it was rough.
It just looks, I win, like the training's exposed.
Yeah.
I could be like all the bracket races and have that little tin can over
There's
it. Don't do shit.
there's welds in it that are from every bit of 1980.
Stick welded on there.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
So, it just looks good. But anyways, he looks at my whole program like, hey, he has a $1,500 motor in their car.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how the chassis sits, so he's gonna let him in. And then that's what's cool about the invite is you'll see a range of. It doesn't matter. There's no rule.
But
And then-
Troy has to know the cars.
yes, and if he doesn't,
Which is tough.
tough because if it's an out of state car,
Or if somebody's really secretive.
all right, so not this last invite, the one before. This guy somehow bought a ticket online, like what happened to Joey.
No,
For
he
the-
bought the. I think what happened was he bought the wrong ticket.
So for the invite, he
something
shows
like
up
that.
in a newer Mustang. Were you there for that one, the maroon one with the
It's
billet?
it's an S550.
Yep, I do remember that. There was a lot of drama around that.
Shit.
Yeah.
So they voted him in. No one spoke up and said no. Like we could have all said no.
Yeah.
But all right, there's a lot of ego there. If you're standing there, I'm standing at this driver's meeting. I'm here to win this. I'm gonna win tonight. Is how I'm thinking in my head when we're doing a chip draw. And now they're asking, can this guy go in? Your ego's like, man, you're about to look like a bitch if you say no.
Yeah,
You're
like, are you
scared
that
him.
scared of that guy?
You're
But-
that scared of a guy. But these guys roped them. All right, everybody should have paid attention that they pulled in with a stacker trailer with a real Pro 275 car in it and their car, right? So they came legit. They're not here to play around. Everybody knew it had a billet block, which
Yep.
are
To me, that don't matter because
All right,
look at Brett LaSala.
well. Hold on.
Yeah,
But-
you
but
can
the
make
thing is-
2,500 horsepower.
But I have a different way of looking at it, right? These guys, all right, billet block just makes it stronger. I understand that, right? Or people that have it. Brett LaSalle's a bad man with
Yep.
the sleeves. This dude, you gotta look at the full picture. This guy pulling off a stacker in a Pro 275 car, he doesn't have a billet block because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing tuning. He has one because he's making that power. There's a difference. There's guys out there that can't keep shit together, so they have the money, so they buy this billet block because it's stronger.
Yeah, the best parts.
And the best whatever, right? Or like this guy had it because he needed it.
Well,
He
some
didn't have
people-
it. He didn't have it because he can't keep shit together. Look at their operation they brought. They came legit.
Yeah.
They came right. So like that was my. I didn't care. I didn't argue in it. But anyways, that guy mopped up the field and he won. And you could tell because he ran Carlton Thompson's old car, the black Mustang, in all steel eyeglass, or was it the 2829? And Carlton beat him, but that's they talk about it. I don't want to say it. People have said the times that it run like it's stupid fast, and this dude was not that far off. And then he's in our invite class, which is based off of like a lot slower. So, but that's the thing, you don't know. But what Troy does, if you don't know a car, or if you show up wanting to enter an invite, he lets everybody pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the racers. I mean,
but how many egos always involved? How many people say no? Like,
That's where it gets tough, though, because Troy, as a racer, also has to kind of know these cars and know what you're bringing when a lot of these guys want to be very secretive. Like, you look at somebody like Biederbaum. Nobody saw his engine bay for
that
freaking 5
the
years.
big block?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Nobody saw the engine bay for 5 years.
Secretive.
Videos, like, he had it covered. He'd change those spark plugs under a freaking tent.
Oh, great. You want to talk about covers? Am I getting off track?
No, you're good.
So there's a point when my car was maxed out. I had twin S366 Borgs on it. Eight-year-old ones.
I remember seeing those.
They were old as shit. And they were on fire in my friend's Camaro. Burned black and brown and like charred up. And I got them from them and they sandblasted the cover. It made them look new again and spray painted them. They're never rebuilt. They're pieces of shit. So anyways, they were maxed out. I was closing the wastegates like 1.1 second out. My car was making like 50 something pounds of boost, regardless if the intake temps were high. I was just trying to get as most as I could out.
Yeah.
So somebody, I forget who, kept trying to draw on me for Troy's race coming up. So I was like, Joey.
Bumblebee.
I don't know, but no, because whoever it was, we scared him. I was like, Joey, we're going to do, I strategize everything. And like, I think shit through. So I was like, Joey, we're going to make it out to be like I changed something. We're going to put a blanket on my car and cover everything up. Mm-hmm. And then talk about this change we made and all this other stuff. And we got so in their heads, they wouldn't lock in with us because they thought. And then once we got to the race and they didn't lock up, I took the blanket off and you can see them over there looking at the same shit, but it just got in their head. That's what's cool about the.
Even though he probably wasn't going to bet anyways.
Yeah, I wasn't going to bet anyways. I didn't want to bet. That's why, I knew.
I'll bet when the light turns green or yellow. Like, I don't know. Everything to me is like 50-50, glass is half full. So I always look at the positive side of things.
I just don't like.
He likes looking at like my hard-earned money, but then I look at it like, what if you win? You double it.
You could, but is the risk worth it?
I drove with.
Not everybody's a gambler.
I drove
Everybody
with.
goes to the casino.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't play the lottery. I don't.
I drove with Troy and his buddy Dennis, and he has this practice tree game like on the phone, whatever.
See, this is the dumb shit they get caught up in.
We're going to Orlando, like no guts, no glory. On the way there, from Troy's house to Orlando, I lost over $200 over this dumb game. I mean, we went
Joey
to.
has no job.
So this is like just stupid, just dumb.
This is me motivating him to get one.
So
Joey has no job.
Just losing money.
I don't need a job
On the
I'm in
practice
school.
tree.
I'm in school. I don't need a job.
He didn't start school yet. So
Suck me. Listen. So we start doing the tree game with our pinkies, and then I get him nasty. I'm like, let's go with our nose, and I get him for 80. I'm like,
I
all
would
right.
have won that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. You see that thing? So I'm like, all right, double it, and I lost the 80 back, and I just
See, that's how I'm not like that.
Well, Dennis will just.
Oh, you know Dennis.
Dennis.
Dennis will just
Oh
go
my
and go
god,
and go.
bro.
That man won't stop.
2023
His
though,
car
he
will be
doesn't
blown
gamble.
up and he'll be trying to.
You know those Hondas? I wanted to say it earlier when we were talking about like pro mods and stuff. After X front wheel drive, that like I was there hanging out with Victor when he like brought that Goldie car out, and the reunion. Those cars are insane, and they could break burnout box any pass. And there's people like Dennis has this guy named Drew, bro. This guy like took the motor out and put a new one in like 17 minutes.
Yep.
I'm like, what is it? Retarded fast, bro. Like.
Well, you go to somewhere like World Cup and, you know,
They're
after
swapping them every
Q1 that night,
That's top. Honda's pretty much top fuel.
they are changing everything. And then the Volkswagen guys are the worst. There's like 5 Volkswagens or 4 Volkswagens that are there, and they are
What motor they use?
like
what
the
base?
little
The
5-cylinder VR.
Listen, X front wheel drive operation is insane. So they have these tires, special tires. They're not like, I guess they're like a slick. I don't know what they are, but
Those M&H's.
if they like vibrate too much on the traction control or whatever, it chunks the tires. Like chunks of the tires come out, and those tires are like expensive as ours, and they have to change both of them every time.
Victor said he gets like 5 passes out of
And
those tires.
that's a good 5. Like most of them get 2, and if the track sucks,
They're bringing multiple tires to events.
Yeah,
Bro,
wow.
$5,000 in tires. Like if you're going out to World Cup and you're trying to win and you have like a K series or B series, I forget which one doesn't last long. Bro, you have to bring motors, trans, like bro, you bring 2 cars. I don't know why these people are bringing parts. Just bring another car.
I've seen that too. I was at World Cup and a guy wadded his car up and somebody showed up with a chassis and they swapped
Are
everything
you
over.
serious?
A
Yes,
chassis.
Oh,
bro.
these guys are legit.
Yes.
And he almost wadded it up.
Oh my.
Bro, the front wheel drive, they pulled a chute and the rear.
I
Yeah.
have that problem too.
Well, don't pull the chute. I mean, 8th mile guys don't really need the chute.
That's why I don't.
I like pulling the chute because it's not that hard to pack and it's a good kind of thing to learn. I mean, you got questionable brakes and you got a heavy car, so why not?
Oh, I got Scott Aerospace Brakes is
Oh
what I
my
like to
God,
call
you name
them.
dropped them.
Bro, they just
They're
those
local, dude.
those things are.
I got aerospaces. I love them.
TBM is right up the street from me.
Yeah, I need something because
I
these
love
things.
Mike. How do you say Mike's last name? Praka?
Oh, Prika. Yeah.
Paprika?
Yeah.
Paprika.
It's a
That died
camera.
again?
I
Yeah.
call him Mike Paprika.
I
Like the
love Mike.
seasoning.
Great guy. But I needed
My
rear
boy
brakes.
Prika.
I needed rear brakes, and he's like, "We're gonna put some TVMs on that." And I was like, "No, we're not." I had 20-year-old aerospaces for like $500 on it that I replaced for no reason. I found out, but like, I'll go TBM once I have a Dana 60 like trash back there. I want to re-back half it, but it's a lot of money. I'll do it then.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy TBMs for a Dana 60.
Yeah, you're probably limited on gearing you can put back there and stuff
I have a
too.
street gear in it right now because I run a 373.
Yeah.
The Pro Gear stops at 410. So in order to get down to a 373, I did a street gear, but I guess I'm not that heavy.
Have you priced out a Pro Gear lately?
Well, I have a 410 and a 456 Pro Gear for the Dana 60 that came with it. Mm-hmm. They just didn't make a Pro one. But no, I heard like 9-inch stuff is.
But a couple companies stopped making Pro Gears lately, and they've just shot up. The guy at Quick Performance, we just put a new gear in my car. I did a street gear, and he was telling me the Pro Gears went up to like $3,000
Are you serious? Just for the
for
gear?
the gear and pinion. Yeah,
That was expensive.
Dang.
and like
$3,000.
the street gears are like $800, $700, and I'm like, I'll just do the street gear.
Yeah, just be
because you
great.
can't find the Pro Gears, and especially once you get weirder ratios. Good luck. Like I just did a 370,
That's what
and
you got.
at least I can find it.
Yeah,
Like,
props to you guys. Paying for stuff like that.
Oh, here it is.
yeah. What do you run in that car? Do you even know what's in that car?
Duh, I just strap in. I know the seatbelts fit me. That's about
Just put a
it.
373 in it
Yeah. It's got
to help it on the.
bro, I was wheeling. I could not wheelie. I got like 60 pounds of weight in the front of that
When he
thing.
had that beater ass motor, he got to leave on like 20 pounds of boost at 6,000 RPM, or it don't go nowhere.
That's my car. They have like 50 pounds of boost.
Oh, y'all
Chris-
different animals. Bro, I'm so
Chris-
impressed by
Chris-
2JZs. Like, I never really looked into them that much. And like Booger?
They're tough motors.
Booger's motor? Oh, dude, can you imagine that in my car? If you put Booger's power plant.
Yeah.
Booger's a great car, but it's heavy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not gonna 60 foot like mine. Like, can you imagine putting that setup on my car? Dude, I'd be so fast.
Well, even like my car is stock block, stock heads, stock valves, stock crank, rods, pistons,
Rod,
stock
pistons,
oil
cam.
pan,
Sits like me.
cams, rods,
And you went
pistons.
490s, right?
Yeah.
Poof.
At 3,200 pounds.
Yep.
490s. That man
Street
moving.
car too. You go drive it anywhere.
Let me get that tune up, my boy.
Got to talk to my boy Alpha, dude. That
There
man
you
can
go.
throw down on the
I drove
laptop.
with Alpha all the time. I said, you saw that picture I posted where I parked my Victor's trailer, the induction one?
Yeah, Alpha likes your car. I know that because
like
I've seen him
Alpha.
talk about it a couple times.
Yeah.
Because he likes cars that are doing a lot with less. Like, not like, you have all the everything and you're just kind of running with us because that's a lot less exciting. But like people like us that don't have a crazy budget in their car. I mean, my car is still stock everything basically on the outside.
Yeah, that's the first time I looked underneath it. It's a pretty simple setup.
Very
And you have
basic.
so much fun with that car.
Exactly. I get like,
So much fun.
I think my last motor before it came out was like 150 passes on it.
Nice.
That's what I literally like got my car so dialed in. We were doing like, there were times that we just go out and test just because like there were no races and I just wanted to
Yep.
drive and stuff like that. I got stock torque boxes, stock 8.8.
See, I
You know
can't
what's-
do that. I can't test. I get so bored. If I'm not heads up racing, I'm like frustrated.
Just
Going to
any-
test and tunes frustrate me.
I'll race.
You know-
I could race myself 50 times a week.
You know what's wild to me is when I go to the track, I feel broke. As far as like the people I'm there with, and which I'm happy with how I do in life. But when you're not around car people, like I have a party at my house or like a birthday thing. We always do stuff at my house. It's like the host place, and these people come over that I don't know, and they're looking at my car, and they're like, I mean, I look at it that way too, but they're just like, they automatically start getting like these rich comments. I'm like, I'm not rich at all. Like, I don't know what the deal. I guess I don't know. It's different. It's definitely you can't be. I don't know.
But like
man.
where
It's
we
just-
are, the next step is like expensive, but like his next step,
Big time next.
We're
step.
talking like 50, 60 grand. Like if you want to make like the next jump, like
Yeah.
the street style cars, like you can have a lot of fun with it. And like if you
Well-
do the no time, like Troy literally just won $5 grand in a grudge race. Like Pete, you can make money in these little street style.
I'm gonna my car will not go threes. I want to try and go threes. That's my goal of Sorry to upset y'all if you think I already do. run
Cameras
threes.
off.
But so I don't think I have the chassis to. But I told Joey like I like making these goals. I said my 5-year goal of racing, I'm like 2.5 years in, is to run a 3 with my car. And but now that what I'm going now, I don't think it's gonna handle it. And it's like you in the no time world, like what you're talking about. You have Troy's invite or these D League, which I'm not
Yeah.
D League anymore. You have the invite and you have this going on, and then you have the 28 class.
They're not going to put you back into D League after.
No.
those-
The 28 class there, that's, I mean, you're not single flying any car. That's a 370 to 40 class.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
it's
all-
anybody. If
all-
you want to, you could bring like you raced a Pro 275 car
That is
and
a
run no
gangster
time.
class. My
Yep.
car will never compete. Like, I'm not being a negative person. It will never compete consistently knowing I'm going to go. Hey, like when I pull up to invite or I pull up to something, like I'm going to win this is how I feel because I'm where I belong. Right. But you pull up to a 28 race, I can't have that mentality. So like right now I can't afford to build a $200,000 car to compete with these people. So like I'm at this depressive state in racing, so to say, because I'm a lot faster than I was before. If I get kicked out of these invites, where am I at? Now I become the
And where
bottom
can
of
you
the-
race?
Well, now I did good at the reunion because it's hot out,
Yep.
you know, and greasy. That's where I shine. But besides that, like I have no business in a 28 class, I will not be a bottom runner, first round Doug. That's not fun to me. So it's like, where do I go? What's my next avenue? Do I build a whole new car to stay slower? Like in that area, like an all steel, all glass car, which those are still expensive too. When you see what people are doing, like I don't know
yeah.
what to do next.
Well, we're in the same boat in the street car, but we're in a good spot because they can implement rules. They can't really add rules to no time.
Oh, no, it's
because they're
a
not going to
tire
start
restriction.
inspecting cars.
Yeah,
And the tire's not a limiting factor at all.
I know.
275
Hey,
is not a limiting factor.
Let's put something out there. You know the dumbest rule, and I'm not a nitrous guy. The dumbest rule ever is these all steel, all glass, or these streetcar classes where they say nitrous has to have a muffler, and it can't exit out the fender. But a turbo, I get it. It's
Can do whatever it wants.
A turbo can be out the fender, or it has to be dumped underneath. But I'm not even a nitrous guy. But that is the dumbest rule to me. Like,
Seems like they're trying to kill nitrous, which is so ridiculous.
I mean, so a nitrous car needs all it can to flow. It needs no restriction. Now they have to run the shit under the car with a muffler. But a turbo car can just have this short downpipe.
Because
Last night,
that's
or-
because turbo cars don't 60. So like the muffler, you know,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just
there's-
saying, I think it's like, I just think that's
Well, that's why all the
street car
nitrous,
rule.
nitrous guys always switch to Pro Charger.
Yeah.
And then they switch
Yeah.
to turbo.
ain't
It kind of is like the progression.
All I know is
That cranked
that
time.
Camaro I race had every bit of 3-inch Gorilla Flames or whatever coming out the side, and he was melting his own paint because I've done ripped the doors off that man.
Dude, turbo's just.
Turbos, bro, it's technology. You can't beat it. I mean, they come out like force induction comes out all the time with new wheels, new race covers, like intercoolers, methanol. Like, bro, you can't
There's still
beat that.
so much progression in turbos every
Yeah.
year. Crazy.
But then
Well,
if you look at.
Troy's new car, the nitrous C6, that thing's pretty stout.
Oh, that's
Oh, it's serious, yeah.
But
Dude,
they have
Florida's
nitrous
stand-
problems with it.
Florida's standing up right now. Paul Lucas, I love that dude. He's like, you know him, the old man with
What?
the white '69 Camaro. The no time
Pro
car.
275 car.
Oh, I think I've seen it. Yep.
He has the black 4th gen no time car and the red Fox body student driver with the yellow.
Yep.
That's the nicest car ever. But you got that car, nasty, twin turbo Hemi 6.9 Camaro. You got Freight Train, twin turbo big block, 4th gen. You got Troy's Envy. You got
I think they should all race in Bradenton.
Turbo B. Oh, Jeff Shawver's 68 Camaro, the yellow one. Dude, that's a wild man right there. That dude's wild. You got Chris Owens. Like, Florida has really fast no time cars because people, if you look at it like Carolinas, all of them are always ragging on us. They say how slow Florida is. Like, oh, you're Florida fast, but nowhere else. But dude, look at that.
That's just that John Dog guy.
No, yeah. But I mean, a lot of them guys do it. But Florida has some serious hitter, and a lot of those cars just came out. Like, Florida's stepping it up a lot. It's just.
I think every name you listed should run on Bradenton.
James's car's been pretty fast a few times too. James Toll. James is 240.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
the
that car.
street,
That thing's
the
been
street style car.
Pretty fast for street
yeah.
style.
Man, that thing ain't no streets. That thing.
Yeah, it's a most
'cause Joey had to run
street
him.
style.
Joey-
ever.
I didn't have to run
Joey's
on.
like, where's his door panels at? I'm like,
Man, I don't know.
Well, Sean.
hey, so
announced-
listen, he's not going to do it, but he's talking about James should be allowed in with them door panels, but James drove the shit to the track.
Yeah, but he lives 2 miles
if
away.
I
He still drove
lived, bro, he lives at Bradenton. I'm 99% sure.
You could throw a rock and hit his house from Bradenton.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that ain't
This whatever. I don't-
That
That's
thing's
questionable.
cheated up.
No, it's
100%.
cheated up. I mean, but that's what rules are. I mean, like everyone's gonna try to find the fine line
Yeah.
and go by. Everybody wants to win. I mean, that's what you do. Like, I'm just
And you need car count. So once you start kicking people out, then you're like, oh shoot, now we only got 27 cars.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
need the car count because it is hard to get car count in classes, and we all need it because the purses aren't going to be guaranteed anymore if
Yeah.
we don't get car count. So you can't start ruling everybody out. You can't add all these rules. Streetcar class will do the same thing. You add all these list of rules, and then suddenly, why did only 5 cars show up?
yeah.
Ain't nobody
Oh,
wanted
well,
I know,
because
like-
you kicked everyone out.
My car's consistent, so if I got to race James on Saturday and everything works as it should, he got to show me
Yeah, I mean, you almost hit him at FL2K.
You said,
about that.
in the Nova.
James shouldn't have been in his lane, but
Bro, so what
Did
happened
you guys
was,
both switch lanes?
yeah,
Joey
so,
went to go around him, I think.
yeah, so
In the other lane?
I got pumped up because
You
James.
got black. People talk shit about how dumb you're a driver you are on Facebook, but you saw him come over in your lane, so you figured you'd go around him.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. Why don't you drive and you hit him? I
That's
bet
an
you hit
interesting
him.
move to switch into
So,
his
hear me
lane when
out.
he switches into your lane, though. I don't
James-
think I would think to do that. I would just lock up the brakes and probably crash into him.
See,
You know, Joey's like, let me just go over here in his.
let me
if
tell
you're-
you.
Oh, we doing this?
If you were a G, you would have came back in your lane and ran out. That would have been cool.
And pull the chute.
Oh yeah.
No,
dump
so
on
James loves getting me pumped up. So I had my tuner there, and I was like, I'm finna break it off in James. Today's my day. So I turned it everything. That's when I had the all-in tune-up. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
So I had knocked the tire off, and the track hadn't come around yet. So I laid back into it, and I was like, the boost just rolled in. I'm like, oh damn! Like he really turned it up. Like it felt good. I
Here
hear,
comes a Nova.
yeah, like I see him, and then I see him like bouncing and like back to my lovely aerospace brakes. They don't work. So I floored the pedal and literally like there was nothing. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hit him. So I was like, either I try to stop and like go close to the wall, but I didn't know how far across he was coming. It looked like he had a lot of momentum. So I just like, I figured I'm slowing down and he's going that way. I'll just go behind him. That was just the only way I think, and it worked.
Yeah, you kicked the rear end out of that thing.
Yeah.
Like folded the whole rear end off of the leaf springs.
Yeah, him and Doug Cook
Quarter up,
said
right?
that he technically beat me because he was ahead of me, but he crossed
Who crossed first, him or you?
him.
I guess him.
Him, definitely. But we had no money on it. So then he hurt the 240. After he brought the 240, he hurt the 240. So then
He
me and,
cannonballed back to Bradenton to get the
Yeah.
other car in
Yeah.
the middle of the night.
yeah, and then me and Nate had a grudge
Dang,
race.
remember the cannonball? But go on.
Me and Nate had a grudge race
Cannonball
first.
right there, dude.
Oh yeah.
That's the record, 25:39.
Oh, that was a Benz, right? That Mercedes?
Yeah.
They had like a fuel cell in the center of it.
I'd love to do that one day.
Yeah, and then me and Nate grudge race first round FL2K.
Oh, with Moonshine.
Yep.
That car is pretty fast too.
I like that.
Once he gets
progression
it,
on
it's gonna be real fast once he fixes all the stuff.
I miss
too.
it looking like a beater.
It was like
I
bittersweet
think it
because
had
like
so much character.
oh yeah, it was dope. It was bittersweet beating Nate because like he's my boy, but like I made it out of first round, so I was super pumped.
Yeah, and you almost and avoiding James is that's a pretty good win.
My God, dude.
This, I don't know.
I'll probably end up doing the street style one just because I like racing.
this-
If
it's
my
this
car's
Saturday.
still good,
It's this Saturday.
this Saturday. I thought you were talking about the FL2K one.
Oh,
After
okay.
FL2K. I'll do
Let me
that
see.
one this Saturday.
Is it this Saturday? What's the 20th? Yeah, this Saturday. It's off the trailer. Little equalizer right there.
What's that car 60? Yours? Like consistently.
It'll go 120s. It'll go like consistently 117s, pretty much like right around there.
So what happens? It wants a wheelie when you turn it up more.
Yeah, we just did a different gearing in the back, so it's trying to wheelie. But I was just talking to Kelly about getting some front shocks to try to tame down the wheelie. But I could just turn it down a little and it won't wheelie. But who wants to do that?
I know nothing about them 2Js. Like you won't be able to like crank that thing up and go like low teens with it.
It should be able to if I can tame the chassis down a little bit. The other day when I raced it, it wheelied. It was like pretty high up wheelie, and it still went a 5.3 getting back into it. So
Nice.
it wasn't like super slow still.
Yeah, there's like, it's like a catch-22. There's some cars in there that are like probably run 550s, like all
Yeah.
out, you know, and then there's some cars that, like James.
Well, don't speak on James. You can talk on Jim Braun
Oh, yeah, Jim Braun.
because
he
if
could
he
go up.
enters, he shows his times. That's a 460 car
Yeah,
that meets those rules perfectly.
Yeah.
like
Hey.
you can't. But
I mean,
like I said,
why can't Brett LaSalle enter? What rules he not?
I said he can't enter.
Well, it's just not allowed.
No, I
It's not
said
allowed.
Joey rules.
Joey
I
rules.
said so. That man ain't not getting in there. All right, if he gets in there, I'm bringing your car.
Well, there's a couple of guys that run with Jim and them.
I don't think. Are you saying I can hang with Brett LaSalle?
It's gonna be fast.
Next subject.
Well, what about like Dusty Rhodes? Does he fit in the street style?
Ooh. Oh, I didn't mean to yell in your mic.
Yeah, it's
What,
okay.
Hell nah.
that guy's fast.
Curtis? So,
Can we edit this out? I don't want him thinking I'm a fan or something. I
Bro.
like his car. I like his
That-
car though.
No,
Listen.
we're not editing that out.
listen,
I like his car.
Dusty
It's nice.
Rhodes, and you know who has like my favorite car and they just sold it? Is Brian. Like,
Fair, however you say his
yeah.
name. The red.
Wow, the red New Edge is your favorite car.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Who would have thought? The
Yeah,
guy with the red
yeah.
New Edge.
Well, it's all one color red. Joey's like
yeah, I got
four different colors.
couple different shades,
There's
but
a few red New Edges here because it was you, Parker, Garrett's brother,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Oh my god! You want to know some history on Parker? That's Garrett's brother. Right?
Yeah.
This guy Les. I know they changed up everything on it. This dude Les in Ocala. He might have been messing with me, but he sent me pictures, every progress on that car. He built that car. He was saying to beat me, the Raven, and I was like, I don't know.
that car was pretty rough when he got it.
Oh, I'm saying I know they changed everything. I'm not saying that's the same.
I'm
exact
just saying,
car.
like, I mean,
But he kept,
he was
like-
building it to beat you.
No, he kept. Yeah.
It was
He's
pretty rough when
he
he
kept
got
posting
that.
these
It
pictures.
was a long shot.
I don't know if he was messing with it. Les is pretty cool, but he's like, this the Raven killer, and he's posting. He's like, look how light I got it because he cut all that shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then before he even did anything with it, he messaged me like, oh, I sold my car to Cletus, and I was like, what the fuck did they want it for? And he's like, oh, his brother. And I was like, yeah, his brother. I don't know nothing about Garrett.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, his brother bought it to go race with everybody, and then there it is, Dr. Pepper, or whatever they call it.
Dr. Pepper.
But he changed the turbo kit. He changed all the
I know they
radiator
ch- I know they
stuff,
went
trans,
through
like everything. I don't think anything's even. I think they cut the cage out of it.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
'cause
was all homegrown.
Yeah.
It was all.
Yeah, but something about a red New Edge does it for me. No, but Brian, like Mike Reich, they all have like 10 out of like, you have like race cars that like people race, but then like these guys have show cars, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I love it when people put like, obviously if you have the money and the time to do it like that, I wish like
the
bro.
final details.
Bro, I mean, it's like
That's why I
eat
got,
off of. I actually grew up like my dad used to race with Brian's dad at that outlaw track I was talking about, County and I've seen Brian since I was like this tall, and they've been building that car forever, and it came out, they like rotisserie'd it, like the whole bottom got
It is so
painted.
nice.
It is perfect.
You see, it doesn't like. It wouldn't excite me that much to have a car that nice. Like it doesn't really bother me that much having like my Camaro being like pretty beat up. it just doesn't really affect me much. I know people will be like, oh, painted, fix the bumper and all this stuff, but like it's never really bothered me having like a super nice car. As long as it like runs good, the engine's nice, wiring's nice, and that stuff's nice.
Mechanical.
Like, I just don't care for the look.
I hate how many people say my car's spray painted. Like if it's satin black, that was out of a gun though. But like I have this super clean car besides being old, but like the updates I did on it, the wiring's clean, the turbo kit Troy did, like, and all I ever hear from people is that it's some spray painted ass. It just bothers me. So it's going next month to Speed and Truck World. Mike Starvino.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna wrap it. And I don't know, I was gonna paint it, but I have this whole thing like it's a waste. Like you never know if you touch the wall or something.
Yeah.
So you touch the wall and bang up the quarter pound, you cut that section out of the wrap and redo it. You go spend $5-6 grand on a paint job, like you ain't matching it.
It also like doesn't scratch, like something rubs up against it in the trailer a little bit. It's not.
I'll definitely
you just peel it off.
Oh my God. So I had the twin turbos on my car, so the downpipes came out there. Well, when I went to that big single up there with that, I had my friend close up the old downpipe holes and then respray the front. Now it doesn't match the car at all because it's got like 2 years of fading on the rest and then the front. So anyways, it was mint front. Oh, my bad. I love blasting Joey. Like I'm hard on Joey. Like I'll throw him out there, but it's just making him a tougher person. And like the whole no job shit.
You gotta have thick skin to be in the no time racing world.
I said my car now uses so much, it actually makes power, so my fuel cell's too small. I'm about to make a bigger one. So I used to drive to and from the lanes. That was like, I love doing that because really it cools my car down. When I get back to the staging lanes, fluid circulating through the tranny, methanol's fucking pouring in, like it just cools it down after the pass. But now I literally don't have enough fuel in it. So we borrowed someone's golf cart that night because I didn't have mine. And I was like, Joey, put the strap on there's a tow hook underneath my front end for like where he strapped my car down a million times. This motherfucker reaches up underneath the front end, like all up in there and hooks it to something else. Put my car in neutral, pulls it forward, rips my front end off my car pretty much. He ripped the skeleton, the Christmas tree they call it, that holds the front nose in. He ripped that out of the brackets and ripped like 2 of my Zeus's out of the fenders. So anyways, and it was literally 2 weeks old when it happened.
Just run that thing with no front end like all the guys do.
So what I was trying to do was like I got an idea behind everything, I was just trying to make like it was too nice.
It was an accident, so I understand. But shit like that is like why I don't want to paint it. But now I'm gonna wrap it.
Too nice,
Wrap it. It's gonna be a crazy color too.
That would be cool. You see, that's where I get into an issue where I am such like a do it all myself. Like anybody starts touching my car, I'm like, stop, let me do it. And I am so bad with having help on my car.
Like no friends?
Or
not no friends, nobody here.
I don't like when people touch it. That'll be sick.
Yeah, don't tell nobody else.
Yeah, that'll be sick. But no, like when anybody's touching my car, because I'll go double check it. Like if you just put oil in my car, like I'm gonna go make sure it was done right.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
That it's a hard thing to get past because like even if Joey's there hanging out helping me on the car, checking fluids and stuff, and
you're gonna go right behind him. Anyways.
I'm gonna go right behind him
and I do the same. But like Joey always told me, his dad wouldn't let him help.
My dad's like a no helping person. Like if I ask too many questions, he'll get off game. Like he does good at what he does, and like that's that.
He old school built his own shit, so he goes to town. So I was like, you know what, Joey, I'll let you, because we're like the 2-man crew. We traveled all over the south or the east, and I was like, I'll let you work on it. So like he learning stuff. I go back and check, but I get what you're saying. It's kind of pointless.
It gets like, it's just, I don't know. It gives me an uneasy feeling knowing that like I wasn't the last person to put hands on something.
Mm-hmm.
Even like tightening everything and like
you gotta
packing the parachute.
You gotta fuck up to learn though. I mean,
yeah, on your car. You know what I mean? It's one thing like, oh my bad, I forgot to top the oil off. That was your job though.
No, that's a little much. But
like that's the thing. Like if somebody does it, you don't know. Like we just came back from Indy, and I usually hook up my trailer and everything. Had a buddy helping me, and I get home and I go to like unhook the two chains, and I'm like, these they weren't even hooked right. I was like, God damn.
Dude, I was doing.
It's just like things like that. Like I should have checked it.
Yeah, meticulous. I mean,
but then like I waste my time checking it after I just should have just done it.
Back in my day, I was hauling some campers and stuff to the port, and my friend hooked it up, and we hooked up 2 of them. Hooked it up, I get to the port, and I didn't have the port access, so someone else had to bring it in. And I guess they never latched it, the ball.
Yeah.
I drove all the way from Lakeland Auction to Jacksonville Port with a 30-foot camper behind me, and I didn't hook it because I'm big on that. Nothing was latched. All they did was plug in the lights. It had no chains, no the ball, like where I watched the ball. Dude, imagine if I would have hit a bad enough bump, that bitch would have left.
Yeah.
The entire thing.
See, that's why I get particular.
All you needed was those Carolina roads.
Holy cow, dude. When we went, all right, so when we went to Virginia for No Prep Kings, and I used to have this Kodiak. You seen those? The big Chevy Kodiak?
Biggest
they ride like shit.
Piece of junk ever.
They ride
made.
so bad.
Oh my God.
They look so cool,
light
but
it
they
on
ride
fire.
Dude,
so
I
bad.
thought since it had the full air suspension in the rear, it had the bags and all, no leafs and that, I thought it would ride great. And it had air seats. Horrible.
Junk.
So me and Joey are going, we went to Darlington first for No Prep Kings. And
It's a great
through
track.
yeah, I love it there. Through South Carolina on I-95, you been on that?
Yeah.
That's illegal. That shit should be illegal. So we're in a Kodiak with my trailer back there. I don't know. We hit these bumps so hard. I came out of my seat off the gas. Like, only thing that held me out was the steering wheel. He hit the ceiling, right? And
Well, the
then
seat
fell off,
is
and
like-
then fell off the. Those trucks
Yeah.
are huge, and then fell off the seat on the floor. We're like, holy fuck,
Bro.
We pull over. My taillight left. The only thing I was hanging was the bulbs. Right?
And the bumper was like.
No, that was Virginia. So then we get to the track to go work on my car. My fuel. Good thing I had I didn't look in the trailer after these bumps, which is dumb. But all my fuel cans were tipped over. Every socket in my toolbox came out of the drawer from that bump. And then we go to Virginia, so we had to go down that same road again. We hit all that shit. We didn't even know. We're burning. It's 3 a.m. We're trying to get back home. We're in Jacksonville after all through that.
Yeah.
We get out to get diesel, and I was like, no fucking way. I couldn't even say where. I was like, Joey, and I got my phone out and recorded it. I'd have to find it. And I was like, Joey, come back here and look. Dude, my whole roll pan was hanging by the tag light wiring behind it had been dragging and hanging off the back. Because I had a roll pan instead of a bumper. It just that road destroyed my truck.
That truck was destroyed.
That should be
before you
illegal.
got
Just
it.
Kodiaks, man. They're not as good as they look.
Yeah, they look cool.
awesome. And you're like, oh, shoot, it's like a mini semi truck. And then everybody I know that's had one, they're just not impressed
I'm
by
allergic
it.
to those things.
I
I
hate it.
hate it.
That new Chevy 5500 looks cool.
Oh, that is
That
gangster.
thing looks
because it's
sick.
a Silverado. With
What
the
I
name
liked
on it.
Put
about-
beds on them now, too.
What I like about the
That's cool.
Kodiak is how I had that, like, we had like that bed set up.
Oh yeah, so the back seat is a bed, right? So we were traveling racing the No Prep Kings, and it's a big ass cab. Joey slept on it was like bunk beds. He slept on the floor. We left the truck idle all night with AC.
Yeah.
He slept on the floor. I slept up on the bed like bunk beds, and that was our deal. And then we would go whatever city we're in, out of town racing. We would find a gym that's 20. Like if they didn't have a Planet Fitness, and we would go pay for 1 day access and shower there. Because you got to shower.
Yep.
And
We could do that at like a Love's, too.
and then, dude, we went through hell at Virginia to get into. Oh yeah, I did that before. We went through hell trying to find a gym one night on the way. It's Friday. We're headed there. So he calls, and there's no gyms in Virginia, and we found this one private owned place.
That whole
Like,
place was cool.
It was cool. They're like, so you had to pay. We had to pay over the phone to get our daily thing because no one would be there at night when we went because it was like a
Yeah, 24-hour
buzz in type shit.
access. Yeah.
So we go through all this. We pay $30. I'm like, damn, that's ridiculous. Just a shower. We get there. We leave Friday night, unhook my truck, drive to this gym, whatever. We come back to Virginia and find out they have full heated and cooled showers in the bathroom. Like a,
at the
like a
track.
fucking prison.
Yes.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
like 6 shower stalls.
Dang, that's
And-
actually pretty sick at a track.
That is really
like
cool.
a campground almost.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it was like.
that's what it was like. Yeah.
And yeah, after we wasted all that time and money, but
It was
anyways.
like $34 that gym was charging. I was like, bro.
They ain't got bathrooms like that at OSW.
Now, what was the story with the bathroom? They built an illegal bathroom or something?
OSW, they just always have been known for like the worst bathrooms.
No, but I thought they built something.
Yeah, something there. I heard that the reason why the whole back of like where you park is painted green, so on the aerial view it looks like grass because it's not permitted to be concrete. So they painted it green.
That's pretty
really
good.
fucking. That is some.
That's some Cuban shit right there.
Dang.
And you're Cuban.
Yeah,
But,
that's
you
some
can't
shit I'd do.
Be racist on the podcast. They gotta know you're one.
I mean, it's okay. I'm not worried about it. Well, guys, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
Where can they find you guys at? Where can they follow you? Where can they hang out, watch some stuff, watch you guys talk some shit? Let's get some plugs going.
Oh, just Facebook.
Facebook, Chris Diehlman and
Joey
Joey
The
Salas.
Salas.
Raven.
Yeah, I got a page for my car. I haven't been using it lately. I stopped after those months I wasn't racing. It's the Raven 68.
The Raven. Joey Salas. Joey Salsa.
Big karma, you know.
Big karma.
Anybody that sits like me, you got smoke. Just let me get a transmission back in my car.
It has
See ya.
to. It has to sit like normal wheel and tire setup.
Identical to him, or he won't do it.
Yeah. No, that's not true. I always race up.
That
Stock.
thing has more than 10.5-inch wide wheels. I don't want it.
And when they put that
Ain't
rule out,
interested.
when they put the rule out for that one class he was in, where it's 10-inch wide, he's like, I need to bring a tape measure, but like, how can I measure their wheel if their caliber and rotor and everything's in the way? He's like, how do I really know what if they have like 11-inch wide?
Oh,
And
I was,
like,
bro, I was coming to win that race, bro.
Well, first you can visually tell.
Oh,
if
yeah,
it's
yeah.
if it's on the verge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first step because like my car, you can tell by the way those
Oh yeah,
tires
because when
fit.
when you got the face up against the beadlock, you know it's like
Yeah.
a 10-inch.
100%.
Because that's how mine is. I got the face is on the beadlock, and you could tell. I mean, we're street car guys, stock block warriors.
All right. Well, we're gonna end it off here, guys. They will probably be back on at some point, so let us know what you think. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. But we will see you next time. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.